In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie, I listen to my Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. In the morning while I'm driving, Ronnie Q. I really come alive when it's time for Ronnie Q. I listen to my Ronnie, Ronnie Q. I listen to my Ronnie. It's time for Ronnie Q. Take a seat and go meet Ronnie. Sweet, 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 sweet Ronnie. No day complete without my Ronnie. She can't be beat. Sweet, sweet Ronnie.
Well, Grand Rising, please hit the like button as you come in. Hey, Lee, brand new. You people in the clouds and my fans, please hit the like button as you come in. Good morning, everyone. Sunshiny day. Hey, Lee, brand new. Okay, so if you look on my screen, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Let's start from the beginning. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Thank you, Lee, brand new. Okay, so if you see on my chat, it seems like Americans were quite busy this weekend, this Sunday. Hey, Between Pages, Grand Rising. Between Pages, before we start, I wanted to let you know. You did get that video for that project we're doing, right? Am I correct? Between Pages? This month we're going to be making a little plant stand for the patio for my crafting and conversations. Not Lee brand new. Between Pages. If you said you got your wood, you said it's already cut, I do believe. Okay, there are 5. Okay, so you see there are 5 long boards that are stained, and 2 of the, I can't remember exactly what inch it is, 4 of the ones for the armrests that are stained. You can pre-stain that. That's what I wanted you to know. If you look at your cut sheet, it will tell you exactly how many are going to be stained. It's what the inches of the ones that are going to be stained. And if it's not in the cut list, it's on the video. You can have that done already. No painting in advance, but you can stain in advance. So I wanted to let you know that. And I also wanted to let you know if you have problems using a drill and a screw, you can buy some of that C1 glue. It's like crazy glue. You'll put a drop on one part and you'll spray an aerosol on the part that you are going to uh, screw in, and you stick them together in the place, and it's just like crazy glue. It won't move, and then you can drill and don't have to worry about anything moving while you're trying to drill. It's called C1 glue. You can get it at Amazon. So I just wanted to let you know that if you're shaky with the drill and pre-drilling a hole, get you some C1 glue. I think it's like $14.99. It's the least expensive one that I saw, and it's just a temporary hole, so your wood won't get jiggle around. I'm trying to make it easy for people who are not accustomed to drilling and all of that stuff. So it's very simple if you don't have C1 glue, of course. But if you're questioning anything, that's all we're doing. Pre-drilling a hole and sticking the screw in. So I just wanted to let you know that. Okay, so did y'all answer my poll question? I hope y'all answered the poll question. Ah, yes, you got it. Okay, you guys can hear me. So it seems like there were a lot of people out protesting this past Sunday. I didn't see all of these people out protesting. Well, I did see a couple of shots of the protests. I, I don't even know if they covered the protests on the for-profit media. I don't think they really covered it that well. Well, at least on the for-profit media that my my husband watched. But I was out at a fair on Sunday. I was out having fun and things like that. So I may have missed any wrap up talk about the protests. So did you guys see any talk or any footage of the or were you even there at the protests? Hey, Port Charles Library. Good morning to you as well. Grand Rising. Okay, so it seems like there were. You mean to tell me, out of all these protests that they had out there, y'all were not at none of them? Did y'all take the poll? I missed this protest, but I've been to others. Well, I missed this protest because I voted. My protest was my vote. That's why I missed this protest. Excuse me. And why did I get a notification from MU? Why did I get a upload notification from none other than MU? I wouldn't have been caught dead at one. MU, who came over here to expound on, prior to the election, why she was voting for 45-47, because he is most in line with her values. That's what. Yes. Haven't seen her since. Haven't seen her skin. Came on here, could not tell me one value that she was speaking on that he aligned with her. She could not tell me. And then she started playing victim as if she was being beat up by me asking, what values would those be? Then she got down in a huff, never to be seen again. So why did this video have her, of course, at the protest. I'm going to the protest. I'm on my way to the protest. Uh, with her troll pages, she comes in here. Oh, she comes in here with her troll pages. Hey, if you can't come in here on your real page, uh, we're not gonna have conversations. You're up here listening. Okay. Thank you, very Carrie, for being here. I appreciate my mods who show up. I really do. So, why is it that she comes on with, I'm going to the protest, and I just want to see, and you couldn't explain why she was going to the protest. She just wanted to make sure you knew that she was not protesting. She just wanted to look at all of y'all. I just want to see what they're saying, and you don't know what they're saying by now. You have no idea why people are going to the protests by now. She has no idea, so she just wanted to see what the people were saying. Okay. Well, why don't you talk back to these people when you hear what they're saying? And I'm wearing blue, so I wouldn't. How come you didn't wear any of your MAGA fashions? How come you didn't go to the protest in your MAGA fashions and talk to the people about what you'd like to talk to and expound on over here? I don't know. So I made sure I wore blue. So blue is the color of the Democrats. So you were trying to uh, pretend as if you were a Democrat. I mean, if you'd wore purple, nobody cares what color you wore. Oh, so if this was a whole infiltration of the protests. You thought that just because you were blue, that would make you counted in the protests. But you always want to be counted, but you always want to go against the grain and have absolutely no reason for going against the grain. You and ZX and all of that pontification. See, that's why you wouldn't catch me dead at a protest, because I'm pretty sure she wasn't the only one who regrets their vote. Well, I don't even know if she regretted. She won't regret her votes unless the person who influenced her to vote that way regrets their vote, because she can't even explain why she voted for the motherfucker. So I am just like, MU, let's have a discussion. You wanted to pontificate about all the greatness of 45, 47, but now you're hiding like a rat. You're doing uploads. Where is all this conversation that you wanted to have about 45, 47? Look who's here. Hey, Miss 313, good to see you. I'm here and I'm listening. I think you said your work. No, that was. Did you say your work schedule changed, Miss 313? Hey, Red Wings Hockey. So, uh, there was that. Uh, I think, was that you who said your work schedule changed? I think you'll let me know. Okay. So there was that. And so I'm pretty sure now that he has ruined this country. Not protest poll. Baby, ain't nobody trying to get a civil disobedience charge. Uh, hey, a click in a view. Well, I was just discussing. Yes, ma'am, unfortunately. Okay, thank you, Miss 313. That was just disgusting. Yeah, it's disgusting. I was just discussing. MU had and I made sure I did what I needed to do, so I won't be bothered with any more that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So, rec popped up in my notifications that she did a video, and she's talking about she's going to the protest. And they're talking about the I just came to listen to see what they were talking about. And then before she scurries off the video and closed the video, she quickly said, "But I didn't hear them talk about this, that, and the other." Bye. Well, if you didn't hear them talk about this, that, and the other, that wasn't what they were protesting. But why don't you expound on the this, that, and the other that you said that they didn't talk on? That was obviously you think is going well in this administration. Since you want to bring up something that's not being protested, I can't. Let me tell you. Let me go find exactly what she said that they were not talking on. The video is very short. I can surely let's see what she was talking about. What they I see that they weren't talking about uh, this, uh, uh, that, uh, uh, and the other. Okay, okay. It could have been a short. It's not a short. Maybe it's under lives. No, it's not. It's gonna be under. It was an upload. So I intentionally wore blue with my red glasses, of course, which are not red. They're tortoiseshell with a red uh, tint. They're actually tortoiseshell. She with my red glasses, of course. No, bitch, those are tortoiseshell glasses. Because I wanted to see what it was all about as a conservative thinker. Okay, bullshit. Okay, let's go to the end. And then she plays a bunch of Fox News clips. Okay, so let me see what she said. She noticed they didn't talk about. I didn't hear anyone mention the missing American tax dollar. I've never heard that mentioned. I've never even heard that mentioned by you. Why would they mention missing American tax dollars? When the American tax dollar go missing, but they will be going missing this year. Yes, they will be going missing this year. That is part of my story. Since you have never heard about the missing American tax dollar, because let's be very clear. After April 15th, there's going to be a lot of missing American tax dollars, and we can talk about it. But prior to this, taxes were coming in. The tax dollars is what fuels the government. We will be talking about since they put Musty and his organization in, and the guy that they have over the IRS has never worked in finances. Is not CPA or anything like that. He is a former what do you call auctioneer. That's where Donald Trump 4547 got this man from. That is his prior profession. He has something called a CP something, but it's not a CPA. It's a little certificate that he got where he went to something or other, and it has nothing to do with finance, but it sounds close to a CPA. That's who's over the IRS. Okay, what else did she say she didn't hear them talk about? This bitch is crazy. Or a strong national defense, because we don't have one. That's why they're protesting. We don't have a strong national defense. Girl, bye. Let me see what else. I do believe in a protected border, so we have a lot to talk about. What do you think? I think bring your ass over here if you want to talk about it. Bring your ass over here if you want to talk about it. Because who doesn't believe in a strong border? I believe in a strong border. I've said as much. Okay, so I was just like, okay, let me make sure I do what it takes uh, to be unbothered by the bull that is coming out of her mouth. She she wants to be. Hey, Kimberly Black, Grand Rising, uh, a dingbat. Let me see. Okay, you guys. Okay, just clueless. She must have been lost. Grand Rising, all speaking. Now you know she's a dingbat. Sitting up there with talking points. Talking points indeed. There are 45, 47 ers who like to present themselves as reasonable and intelligent. Uh, they want to speak themselves from MAGA, but it's all the same. They want to separate themselves from MAGA, but it's all the same. I can't with that one. Ha 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 ha. Grand Rising, Kimberly Black. Grand Rising, Joyce Goodwin. Good morning to you as well. I hope you guys took the poll. So, yeah, I found that really ironic. Uh, she knows she cannot have an in depth conversation with anybody about the missing tax dollar. Okay, so let me show you guys a little of the protests that I've seen. I'm going to share my screen with you. And I've seen these little girls who can speak on what's going on in this. Oh, hold on. Oh, yes, little girls who can speak better on what's going on. Let's check this out. This is a status quo. If you're not a member or if you haven't been over there, check them out. So let me get past the introduction. Here we go. Let me make sure it's on a good speed. Yeah, let's go.
Public library, where there are thousands of people out here protesting Trump and Musk and their policy of class war on the working class. I'm out here because we need a change. We need to get rid of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. He's taking our benefits, and those are the things that we.
Okay, before we get too far, this woman is about to really piss me off because she's going to say that people who don't think that they need to be out here like African Americans, they need to be out here too. No, African Americans overwhelmingly did not vote for him. So African Americans did their protesting. Now, if they choose to be out there, but who are you to sit up here and pinpoint African Americans out when it's not the African Americans' fault with your black ass who put him in office? African Americans didn't put him in office. The African Americans who sat on their asses and didn't vote need to be out there. Those African Americans, they surely need to be out there. Those African Americans who threw their votes away, trying to be in line with the palm color people, yes, sure, they need to have their black asses out there. But to pinpoint African Americans as a whole. Bitch, are you serious? These motherfuckers with guilty consciences and buyer's remorse need to be out there. The motherfuckers who sat on their asses, sure, they need to be out here. But where are they? They're on YouTube talking about dumb shit that they ain't gonna change nothing in their lives. Pretty much like they were on election day, pretty much how they have been every day during this administration. I believe half of them don't even know what's going on. They're sitting in on stream showing Timu appliances and Roachfield kitchens and all of this dumb shit. I'm pretty sure they don't know. They didn't know there were any protests on Sunday. I was reading somebody's chat. I'm not gonna protest, not protest. I'm not gonna protest. Why I gotta protest? The Miami dummy. The Miami dummy talking about she's not gonna protest. Why I'm gonna protest? Protest. I don't know what the fuck she was talking about. Protest. I thought it was a typo, but she kept saying the road. What's she saying? Protest. I'm not gonna protest. She said it several different times, several different entries in the chat. She's not gonna protest. The one who proudly said that she don't vote too. So you think I'm gonna protest when I did the right thing with my vote? I didn't get this in office. I didn't sit on my ass and allow this to be voted in office by, I think they said the vote was it wasn't a huge mandate. A huge mandate would be what Biden had beaten 45, 47, 7 million votes. I think it was under 1 million votes that this 45, 47 got in office this time. So let me continue.
We're entitled to. So I believe that everybody needs to come out and do their part, especially people that think it's not their fight, like African Americans. Some of them don't think it's their fight, but it's everybody's fight. Everyone's.
Do you feel like the Democrats have been doing enough in this moment?
No, the Democrats have not been doing enough. They have to get tough. They want to be liked. You can't be liked all the time. You have to fight. You have to show that you have some kind of muscle, something that you have to feel like you have to say what you mean, and you have to stand on your feet and let people know that you're not going to be pushed around anymore. But the Democrats have this thing that they want to be the nice guy. You can't be the nice guy all the time and get what you want. You have to stand up for what you believe in, and you have to stand for the people. And the Democrats, they're disappointing. They need to be tougher.
I'm a Vietnam veteran. I see people who need the service. They're decimating our democracy. They're decimating the VA. This is only part of it, but it is a catastrophe that these vile people are doing this to our democracy. There's not much more you can say. That vile people doing terrible, terrible things. This is unprecedented. This is a historical time. If you can't come out here, you're just going to be kissing our democracy goodbye. This is the least I can do. I'm 80 years old, my God.
Yeah, I think what you guys do is fantastic. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take pictures of the screen and I'll send it out on Facebook and stuff like that just to show people that there is a lot of reaction to what's going on right now, you know? And you would never know. I mean, look at this. This is massive. And
I'm proud. I'm proud of my kid. So anyway, shout out.
Why are you guys out here today?
Because shit is fucked up. We don't know basically what's our future's going to be. Everything is pretty much under attack as far as we can tell. We have Elon Musk. Basically, we don't know what he's doing in the government while he has access to it. We don't know what the future of Social Security is going to be. And then we have Republican, both executive and the legislative branch and judicial branch, honestly, supporting everything that Trump does. And right now, we have no allies outside of the U.S., outside of Israel, who we can trust. I mean, he's making an enemy across the world For what reason? We have no idea. When we are suffering. I mean, we need health care. We need to know that the environment's not going to fucking kill us all. Excuse my language. I hope that's okay for y'all.
You are perfectly fine.
I mean, we need to. I mean, we're in our 30s right now. You know, even if we wanted to have kids right now, how can we? You know, and then you have this fucking idiot Elon Musk talking about birth rates and stuff like that. It's his mere existence that threatens that. And people like him, the billionaire class and the 0.01% up to the 1%, they threaten democracy with their mere existence and their greed. And they've taken control of our government for the last 50 fucking years, and we have nothing left. They've pillaged across the earth and taken what they needed from all these third world countries, and they brought it back home. What else? Is there left to do? We need more people to come out here and show people that there are things that can be done. Yeah, you can sit in and make that grand gesture, but do that before you sign in the CR. Do that before you have House votes, so you can stick it to people like Mike Johnson and make them nervous in their districts. Why don't you go out to their districts and show them what their representatives are doing, instead of sitting up in Washington and throwing your hands up like Hakeem Jeffries and saying, oh, well, what kind of leverage do we have? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We put you there for how many years? You have the power. Do something with it. So we're out here. We have no fucking power. We're taken to the streets. I've seen people with stretchers out here. I mean, come on. I saw an 84-year-old woman walking down with a cane.
Assisted walker.
Yeah. You know what I mean? She doesn't know how much longer she has left, but she's doing it for the younger generations. So, I mean, are you serious? You don't know what to do? What kind of leverage you have? Grow some
Help me, baby Jesus. Lord have mercy. I just said, I hope my mic is on. Hey, Jill's Comfort Zone, Strictly Platinum, always reminding me, child, shut up, Jill. Okay, so now, now they have fired everybody in the Health and Human Services, and including people who check for lead pay. The HIV and AIDS people are all gone. 10,000 people. It was not until they started announcing via the press. It wasn't until the press had to go interview and hunt down individuals who actually were fired from Health and Human Services. We also remember how many times did I put up that post where 4547 had a blackout on all updates, medical updates, breaking news, and any information coming out of the Health and Human Services. You guys may remember I kept showing that because that made absolutely no sense to me, that he had a blackout of any information from all of our health agencies. Yeah, now he's fired 10,000. Now, Robert F. Kennedy is over the Health and Human Services. So why is Robert F. Kennedy saying that, oh, well, we fired, but Elon Musk, he fired too many people, and we're going to bring some of those people back. Now, we know we have heard them say that they were going to bring the Ebola people back, but they have not as of yet, to my recollection, have not even brought the people who were studying Ebola back that they fired. I think they were working in USAID. So how efficient is it to have one multi-billionaire taking away all of our all of our research into things that matter? They have taken away cancer research. The young man who they used as a prop when they were addressing Congress, the actual cancer research that is researching his type of cancer has been shuttered. The actual person that came up with who worked with the medication that they gave 47 when his ass got COVID, he got fired. These are the people they are firing. People who are out here just trying to save lives, fired. Talking about it's a bloated bureaucracy. Is it really? Or is it? We know all of this is to help with the tax cuts. Let me show you these little girls.
Balls.
Yeah.
I had to get that off my chest. Sorry. Good.
No, absolutely. Have been handling this moment. Do you wish that they were doing more?
They're doing all they can. They have zero power. What else can they do? I mean, they're vocal. If you're paying attention, they're vocal. Don't watch the mainstream media because they're just washing over everything. They're saying they're not doing anything, and it's bull. They're doing everything they can, and they don't have any power. So I don't know what the hell you want from them. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Please.
I worked really hard on the election. Okay, I volunteered, spent a lot of time before the election.
Girl, we all did, and they could do more than being vocal. They can be on the streets. They can be not like Chuck Schumer voting with the Republicans on that fucked up continuing resolution. But I digress.
Is there anything else that you'd want to add?
Bulldozer or wrecking, it's okay to, cut down on make things more efficient. But the way they're doing it is making everything more inefficient. Because Social Security, people can't get through. They're entitled to benefits. They can't get through. All other departments, nobody can, their offices are closed, everything. That's not being efficient. That's quite the opposite. So why don't they think what they're doing?
Hands off our future! Hands off our future! Hands off our
Talk with us about why you're out here protesting today.
Trump thinks he's a bad president. He's not doing good. Trump thinks he's a bad president. He's not doing good. Trump thinks he's a bad president. He's not doing good. Trump thinks he's a bad president. He's not doing good.
Oh my goodness. Hold on. I don't know why it's doing that. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I don't know why it's doing that. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me get it. Let me get it back. Right when we get to the kids that I wanted you guys to see. Okay. I think I have it set now. Okay, let me present this again. Okay, here we go.
Doing.
Hands off our future. Hands off our future. Hands off our future. Hands off our future.
Talk with us about why you're out here protesting today.
Trump thinks he's a bad president. He's not doing good. Making unfair rules. Like it's unfair that he's sometimes he's racist, and that's not very nice towards us people of color. And
That is not very nice. You're right.
all the people who just want to have a life can't, like a regular life, trans people or people of color can't because Trump and Elon Musk are trying to block it, and it's really not fair. And people are immigrants who are protesting maybe end up being shipped back to where they came from, and we think that's unfair because nobody should go back to where they were. Yeah.
The people are more powerful than the president.
Yeah,
Totally.
You are right. The people are more powerful than the president.
and Trump does most of this for the money, and he thinks the whole world he wants the whole. He wants the whole world to revolve around him, and he does it. He's really selfish. He does what he wants. His laws are what he wants, not what the rest of the people want. Doesn't let anybody else have a voice. Hands off our future. Hands off our future.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
To replace the table, we chose to get something that's
Want to watch the rest of that? It is in my description box. Hey, Kings Mina, Brick Girl Haley, happy life, grand rising to you all. Who would vote in 2025? Who would vote in 2025? It messed up because he just wanted to reiterate that he's a bad person. I concur. That must be it. Okay, so let me see. Now, the name of that video is Shit Fucked Up. Now, the next video is called Holy Shit. 4547 hides away at Mar-a-Lago. It's a whole lot of it's a whole lot. No, Holy shit. 45, 47 highs as millions rise up. I thought that M was Mar-a-Lago. So let's check a little bit of this out. Since you guys didn't go to the protest.
Voicing their frustrations with the policies of the Trump administration and Elon Musk, the world's richest man.
Well, there you have it. Donald Trump effectively hid yesterday from the entire world as millions of fed up and pissed off Americans across the country in more than 1,000 events, demonstrations, and rallies rose up in protest against him and Elon Musk. But before we unpack all that, people have been exhausted and demoralized, and understandably so. And it took a few months, but it seems like we're finally starting to see a visceral, appropriate response to the excesses, the authoritarian impulses of this Trump administration. And again, even though organizers initially only expected 500,000, they have now tabulated that millions actually turned up again in more than 1,000 events across the country. As Axios reports, hands-off protesters rally against Trump across the U.S. Millions of hands-off protesters, by organizers' count, took to the streets, state capitals, federal buildings, congressional offices, and city centers to protest the Trump administration on Saturday. Trump's political, economic, social, health, and legal changes have mobilized a wide cross-section of Americans. Quote, we're seeing estimates go way beyond what was anticipated, organizers told Axios in an email on Saturday. We had about 2,000 RSVPs for cities like Raleigh, North Carolina, where I live, where we saw 45,000 people show up, orders of magnitude greater. It's stunning. Quote, DC and NYC are well over 100,000 attendees each. And again, we've got footage of this. This is stunning stuff. The total attendance estimate far surpasses the 500,000 RSVPs organizers counted as of Friday night. More than 1,100 rallies, visibility events, and meetings were scheduled in all 50 states as of Wednesday. Dozens of advocacy organizations are supporting the mass mobilization against Trump policies. Protesters are also rallying against Elon Musk's involvement in the federal government as an unelected official leading Doge. And again, the anticipated protest prompted the White House to reschedule its Saturday Spring Garden tours.
I don't know if you know that poor Melania had to reschedule her annual spring garden tour. The one who you haven't seen since Inauguration Day. They want you to understand that the protest interrupted her during her spring garden tour. Ooh, whoa. Okay, let's continue.
So even the White House is reacting to this. And Trump, who's usually like very eager to be in front of cameras, is hiding away in Florida, golfing and watching golf instead. Stunning stuff. The BBC spoke to a protester. Asked if she thought that Trump was receiving the protesters' message, she said, quote, well, let's see. Trump has been golfing just about every day. Trump has held no public events on Saturday and spent the day golfing at a resort he owns in Florida. He was scheduled to play golf again on Sunday. So he's just trying to hide and trying to ride this thing out. We'll see what happens. Friend of the show and host of Secular Talk and Crystal and Kyle and Friends, Kyle Kalinske, shared this. Just again, like screenshots of it. Boston, New York, Chicago, Portland, San Francisco, San Diego, Idaho, Utah, Oakland, and so many more. I mean, the turnout is stunning. This clip from New York City. I mean, just look at this. I mean, how people are just packed down the streets as far as the eye can see, looking almost like ants, right, on a log from such a distance. But I mean, stunning, legions of people. You hear that? They are pissed. People are pissed, and understandably so. This is Chicago.
I'm pretty sure QB down there in Chicago, he was asking, they protesting? Is it going to be in Chicago? Oh, QB, I hope you found the protest, because they are out there in Chicago.
Third biggest city in the country. Stunning stuff. Anti-Trump protests hit cities worldwide in pictures. Let them eat Teslas. Make America normal again. MAGA, morons are governing America. Then you have people dressed as almost like in the Handmaid's Tale costumes before the Washington Monument. A Trump flag. Trump still sucks. Indeed, he does. People wearing umbrellas in inclement weather. Know your parasites. Deer tick, dog tick, lunatic. Picture of Donald Trump. Hands off. Look at this. Stunning stuff. Oh, yeah. And of course, here, it's labeled, right? So, again, obviously, National Mall in D.C., outside the Washington Monument, St. Paul, Minnesota here, protest in New York with the umbrellas, Miami, Florida with the parasite sign. Again, another St. Paul picture. Rehoboth Beach, which is where President Biden vacations in Delaware. And that's Trump MAGA. What are you doing to my democracy of 2.5 centuries, with a picture of a very pissed off President Washington. A protest in Huntington Beach, California, shows Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, and Elon Musk. Ventura, California, Veterans Against Fascism. Can't read this particular sign, but it's looks like a gay man holding up a protest sign against Trump. Protest in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Hey, not too far from my neck of the woods when I was living in Kentucky. Protest outside the Michigan capital of Lansing, Michigan. Yet another D.C. Houston, Texas. Hands off our democracy. Stamford, Connecticut.
So basically,
New Hampshire,
worldwide.
Miami, Florida.
So, are you guys surprised about that? They were even protesting in Berlin, Germany, and Paris, France. So, any comments? Anybody have anything to say about all of this protesting? What say you guys? Now, we would be remiss if we did not say, while all of this protesting was going on, 4547 left the White House on Thursday evening answering one question after he put those tariffs on, and he flew out to Mar-a-Lago. He had a scheduled golf event. Of course, he's of 11 weekends he's been in the White House. He has golf 10 of the 11 weekends. Now, as the stock market and our 401ks went tumbling down the toilet because of his tariffs, I need you to understand. When you guys hear this, don't forget that my goals is if you learned something here today, you can hit my goals button, because I was astonished at what I found out about why I already thought that the reason why he was using tariffs is because that's the only thing that he can exert by his own power to use. That's why he did the executive order when he first came into office about having emergency powers to use tariffs as if the economy was bad. That was one of the first executive orders. Why did he sign an emergency executive order when the stock market was higher than it has ever been in the United States? What was the financial thing that he was signing the executive order for? For the reasons that he needed to put these silly tariffs on the nation. That's the only reason why he did it. There was no emergency, no financial emergency. He had no reason, but it allowed him to put these tariffs on. So let me see what else I want to share with you guys. And I want to share with you the real reason he put the tariffs on. Let me see.
stock market crashing and fears of a recession reaching a fever pitch. For anybody who thinks that Donald Trump isn't doing anything, disabuse yourself of that notion, because this is the statement that they just released. The president won his second round matchup of the Senior Club Championship today in Jupiter, Florida, and advances to the championship round on Sunday. So obviously a well-needed piece of reassurance for everybody who's watching the economy crash and the stock market tumble and their 401ks vanish. Just know that Donald Trump is out there working hard for you, the American people.
Do you feel okay now? Do you feel safe and secure? Hey, Queenie, grand rising to you. Okay, so let's figure out why. Have you guys heard of this person named, have you guys ever heard of Ron Vera? Have you heard of Ron Vera? Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard of Ron Vera. That's all I want to know. Ron Vera is an okay, no responses. Ron Vera is a noted economy expert. I don't know why you guys don't know who Ron Vera is. And you know that I think his name is David Navarro, whatever Navarro. Navarro is on Navarro, Peter Navarro is 47 go-to guy on economics, if you don't know that. If you also don't know, Peter Navarro also went to jail, unfortunately only for 4 months, and came out of jail missing a front tooth or two, kind of like uppity, only being there 4 months. He came out of jail and still on TV running his motherfucking mouth. But why did he go to jail? Because he was subpoenaed to come before Congress and answer questions about the January 6th thing. And he refused to show up to his subpoena. Refused to answer the subpoena at all. But he was on every freaking news show that would have him on. Just talking. So it seems like he was rewarded. And he is in this administration as well. So let's find out exactly why these tariffs were enacted. You understand who the players are. So let me find this video clip, and we see what has happened to the stock market. We see there were additional 10,000 people who were fired. Let me find this. Let me see. The what and the why of the tariff. It is in my description box. I hope you guys check out all of these links that I've left for you. But I think it's important that you guys know this little bit of information. Let me get beyond this commercial, and we're going to start. Because if you don't know who Ron Vera is, you'll be surprised. I was shocked. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Here we go. The name of this video is called "The Ridiculous Real Story Behind the Tariff." The ridiculous real story behind the tariff plan that turned Donald Trump into a global disaster. If you don't know, now you know. If you didn't know something, you learned something, feel free to hit the goals.
Today, of course,
it is my goals to impart some information on all of us that we may find important, that we need.
In the markets, the Dow dropped more than 2,000 points today. Not a typo. Dow plunges 2,200 points. Yesterday and today are the first time ever that the Dow has dropped 1,500 points or more on 2 consecutive days. 1,600 points yesterday, 2,200 points today. The S&P 500 dropped 10% in 2 days. It dropped 6% today alone. Just for context, whether or not you watch the markets, whether or not you have any money in the markets or retirement account or whatever, just to get a sense of the scale here. I'll give you 2 metrics here to get a sense of the scale. The first one is the circuit breakers. Do you know about this? The markets have circuit breakers that kick in when things go off a cliff. That's a mixed metaphor, but I think you know what I mean. They call them trading curbs, and they're these shutoffs that kick in automatically and basically stop the market. They stop people from trading for 15 minutes when things have gone unbelievably wrong. And where those circuit breakers kick in, like the threshold of how bad it has to be before the circuit breakers kick in, is when the S&P drops 7% from the previous day's close. Today, the S&P dropped 6%. Had we got to 7, we would have hit the circuit breaker. They would have turned the lights out on the market to try to save us from ourselves. That's one way to understand the severity of what's happened here. And here's another. Look at this. This is the VIX index, VIX. Unlike the stock market graphs where you can tell things are bad when they go down, with the VIX, it's the volatility index. It goes up when things are terrible. It's like the economic crisis meter. And you can see there are just a few big peaks there over time. The first huge peak, that's 2008. That was the global financial disaster of 2008, the worst financial catastrophe since the Great Depression. That's the first big peak. The next big peak is March 2020. That's the equally huge global disaster, right? When the COVID pandemic overran the world, killed millions of people, and basically shut off economic activity like there had been a power outage. So those are the first 2.
So we're at near COVID numbers with this, and haven't been at those numbers before or after COVID and the last Great Depression. Oh, maybe not. I think probably in 2009 in the housing crisis as well. I don't know if we've gone this high, but we've been high.
2 big peaks there. But now look, new peak. That's now. That one not caused by the biggest financial catastrophe since the Great Depression or a global pandemic that's killing millions of people. That one caused simply by Donald Trump being president. Again, with his great ideas.
Oh, yes, 2009. It's right here in front of me on the graph. We went high in 2009.
It's been 2 years since that disaster struck.
Hold
the
on.
population
Let's
is now
get
sparse.
past this commercial. Okay. We're getting to the good part. We're getting to the good part right now. And of course, Ivanka husband Jared Kushner has something to do with it. And Queen Diva, thanks for joining me. I know you're getting ready. If you notice the lack of follow through, the lack of caring about anything that has this world turned upside down, you're going to be disgusted by this story. Pay attention, please. It's unbelievable. Okay, let's get beyond the stock stuff. You guys can read that. Watch this video. I want to get to why are the tariffs.
Sell-off as recessionary fears mount. More than $6 trillion erased from market. This has been the lead analysis piece on CNBC.com all day. Trump's tariffs are biggest policy mistake in 95 years. This is the lead editorial today at the Financial Times. America's astonishing act of self-harm. But the picture of Trump there actually kind of puts a nice punctuation mark on that. Look what we've done to ourselves. Hi. But this is the lead, quote, if it endures Donald Trump's decision on April 2nd, 2025, to enact sweeping tariffs on U.S. trade partners, will go down as one of the greatest acts of self-harm in American economic history. His actions will wreak untold damage on households, businesses, and financial markets across the world, upending a global economic order that America benefited from and helped to create. Elsewhere in the FT today, they described Trump's actions as, quote, strangely self-sabotaging, quote, economic lunacy that might seem better explained by psychologists than economists.
But hey, Rachel, Trump advanced to the next round in his golf tournament. You know, those golf tournaments that he always advance and always win when people never even see him playing at all in the first rounds. And then suddenly they hear that he's advanced. You know, hey, we got that news this weekend. So all's not dead. Let's continue.
Larry Summers, former Treasury Secretary, says, quote, "This is to economics what creationism is to biology, what astrology is to astronomy, what RFK thought is to vaccine science." The Wall Street Journal summarizes tonight, quote, "The Dow Jones Industrial Average became the last of the three major financial indices to enter a correction, defined as a decline of 10% or more from a closing peak. After today, the Dow is down 14.9% from its most recent high. The NASDAQ is now a bear market, off 22.7% from its recent high. Anything more than 20% is considered a bear market. The Magnificent Seven stocks, which include NVIDIA, Apple, and Amazon, collectively lost $1.55 trillion in market capitalization this week. That is a record. Apple alone.
Now, if you have been watching me, NVIDIA, that is the company that the muskrat is supposed to be getting his chips from for his new Memphis DEI project. I told you last Friday about all this land in Memphis he bought. Now, it is estimated that the muskrat lost $30 billion in these past 2 days. So why is it that the muskrat has come out against the tariffs? I wonder why. Because I'm pretty sure he'll just go back in the government and give himself a $30 billion contract because he's able to. Hey, no harm, no foul. Elon can do what he's a brilliant person. Okay, so those are the reports. And now he's against the tariffs, and he just wished that they could work out something with the EU. We're part of the EU. Why should there be anything worked out? We shouldn't have done this to our global friends in the nation. So what are we going to work out? We're going to have to cow down because of this idiot. Let's continue.
Saw $443.5 billion in market value evaporate. I mean, it is hard to get your head around how much damage this one man can cause. I think it's even harder to get your head around simultaneously the fact that he can do damage of this magnitude with such a teeny tiny amount of thought. Right? You think it would take like a grand plan and some big brains to figure out how to destroy the economy of the richest nation on earth. But that's not how it's working out. Turns out it doesn't take a big idea or a lot of big brains working together. I know that this may be something that you remember, but just in case it's not, I'm just going to put this back on the front page here just for a second. Because do you remember where Trump got the tariff thing from in the first place? Do you remember like when and why and how we started talking about tariffs in the first place?
Peter Navarro. That is his whole talking point.
Place. It was in his first campaign for president. Trump didn't really have any formal economic advisors. So he told his son-in-law, Jared, to find him an economic advisor. Trump reportedly gave Jared some vague ideas of what his thoughts were on economic issues. You know, something, make me look tough, China bad, something. Jared then decided to find his father-in-law a financial advisor for his presidential campaign by going on the Amazon.com website and starting to browse books. Not like reading the books, because you can't do that on the Amazon website. He was just looking at the covers, looking at the title.
Surely he could have read the books. He could have bought every economic book in Amazon and read it if he gave zero fucks. You know, he was looking like, hey, we finna go get this money. Let me throw this old man something. He's stupid. He'll believe that I'm so smart and accept anything I throw at him. So did that happen? I'm sure it did. Let's see.
Titles. And he found a book title that he thought was so cool. The title was Death by China. Oh my God, that's so cool. That's so awesome. And that apparently was it. Quote from Vanity Fair. Trump gave Jared a summary of his views and then asked him to do some research. Kushner simply went on Amazon, where he was struck by the title of one book, Death by China, co-authored by a man named Peter Navarro. Jared then cold called Navarro, a well-known trade deficit hawk who agreed to join the team as an economic advisor. Navarro was a
Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. So this article originally appeared in the Vanity Fair when 4547 was running, but it went below the radar, unfortunately, and the radar has dipped back in to bring this story back up. So a lot of us are unaware of this. Let's continue.
A major advocate for an aggressive pro-tariff policy. Where did Peter Navarro get his idea that tariffs would be a good policy for America? What was his backup for that conviction? Well, he did have backup from a real expert who he cited in at least a half dozen of his books, including the one that Jared found on Amazon, That Fateful Day.
Okay. Vera appears in half a dozen of Navarro's book dating back to 2001. Who is Vera? Harpo, who this man? Who is Ron Vera? Harpo, who this man? Do y'all know who Ron Vera is? Hey, Sandy. Queen Diva said, wow. I need an answer. Who is Ron Vera? Now, Navarro would quote this man and Navarro is a Harvard graduate of economics, and Elon Musk said that that's one strike against him because those highly intellectual people try to boost themselves up so big. So it was a problem that he is his economic advisor. Well, Musk, how come you didn't fire him? How come you didn't talk to Laura Loomer? Laura Loomer isn't even in the White House. A conspiracy theorist had him firing people on the National Intelligence Committee. And you mean you right in there and you didn't pay for him to get back in the White House and you didn't tell him to fire Navarro? Let's continue. Please, I'm sorry. I'm not going to interrupt anymore. I would like to see what you guys think of this part of the story.
In all of his books, Peter Navarro has cited an economics expert to justify his views. And the economics expert he cites is somebody named Ron Vera, V-A-R-A, Ron Vera. When Trump won the presidency and entered the White House, this Ron Vera started circulating a memo around Washington in support of Trump using tariffs in trade policy. According to the New York Times, the memo had been, quote, sent from an email address purportedly belonging to Ron Vera.
Okay, so I lied, of course. I lied. Ron Vera sent emails, and he started pushing these tariffs in the first administration. And he even wrote memos, and he even sent emails from his account. Let's continue.
Vera. At one point, Ron Vera wrote in the memo that Trump could, quote, ride the tariffs to victory. The problem is Ron Vera doesn't exist. He never has. The economics expert that Peter Navarro has long cited to explain why he's so gung-ho on tariffs, this person, Ron Vera, is a made-up person. He is a fictional person. Peter Navarro invented Ron Vera as his expert source so he could quote this expert source over and over and over again in his crackpot books. Who is Ron Vera? Ron Vera is an anagram of Navarro, which is his last name. I mean, my name anagrams to Macho Waddler, but I don't see myself trying to talk you into doing what Macho Waddler wants, right? But that really...
No, this story came out. Before, child, I cannot eat. Hey, Liz, it is good to see you. I hope all is going well. I cannot. Now, this story has already been written in the last administration. And so they actually know this. They actually know that Navarro was pushing these tariffs last administration, and he was quoting someone who was supposed to be a great a source of information regarding tariffs. He was even obviously it appears that he created a fake Ron Vera email account to email people under the guise of Ron Vera who never existed? So do you wonder why this motherfucker is in this new administration? So a lot of people are, even someone on X circulated that 4547 is crashing the economy on purpose. And what did 4547 do? He reshared that information while he was golfing this weekend at Mar-a-Lago. And let's realize that he is golfing with the Saudis. The Saudis have created a new, what do they call golfing? A new golfing association or whatever they call that. I forget the name of it. So they are in the golfing business now. And so, of course, 4547, fuck our economy. He had to go buddy up with the Saudis for their golf event that they were having at his golf course. So, of course, he had to be there. So, fuck our economy. I'm golfing with the Saudis, bitches. I ain't losing a goddamn thing. And Ron Navarro told me that it would be a good thing to heap these tariffs on you to what? To ruin the whole economy? I don't care. Let's continue.
Really is how the Trump administration crafted its tariff policy. That's where Trump came up with the tariff idea. Circulating a fake memo from a fake person with a fake email address in order to make it look like this was a serious issue being debated by real experts. That is the intellectual basis on which Donald Trump today wiped $6 trillion of wealth out of existence and crashed America's markets and brought America and the world to the brink of a self-inflicted, on-purpose, global Great Depression along the lines of what we had in 2008 and what the pandemic inflicted upon us in 2020. This time, the global disaster is Donald Trump's big brain. And Donald Trump may think it's all going to work out. The American people are awake and well aware that this is not going to work out. New Reuters Ipsos polling, to which I would like to bring your attention. Do you approve or disapprove of Donald Trump's handling of his job as president? Disapprove by a 10-point margin. Do you approve or disapprove of how Donald Trump is handling the economy specifically? Disapprove by a 15-point margin. Do you approve or disapprove of how Donald Trump is handling the issue of international trade? Disapprove by an 18-point margin. Do you approve or disapprove of how Donald Trump is handling the issue of your cost of living? Disapprove by a 27-point margin. Is the Trump administration competent or incompetent at running the federal government? Incompetent by a 20-point margin. Is the Trump administration competent or incompetent at rolling out new economic policies? Incompetent by a 25-point margin. Is the Trump administration competent or incompetent at downsizing government without affecting vital services? Incompetent by a 25-point margin. That's before the markets did what they've done in the last 2 days. The American people get it. They get it. They are awake. They are not giving up. And tomorrow, a lot of them are going to show it.
Okay. So now, Grand Rising Madison, thank you for being here. Now, knowing all of this, what are his surrogates saying about the tariffs? At knowing how the tariffs, he waited until after the markets closed before he put these tariffs out, and then he hauled ass on Thursday to his golf course to play golf in the new Saudi golf tournament. So he had Friday to see that the markets had fallen horribly, but the only response that he gave was that he had advanced to the finals in the golf tournament on Sunday. That's all he had to say. So he left his surrogates out here. These are the people he hand choose. So what were they saying? Let's see what they were saying. A lot of them were saying we had to trust him. He knows what he's doing. The man who has bankrupted 6 companies and is on his way to bankrupt the United States of America. We have to trust him, is what these people his surrogates were out here saying. So let's set Trump surrogates implode on live TV. Let's hear what his surrogates are saying in the face of this. After the fact, let me like this video. After the fact that they know how these tariffs has affected the country.
I want to break down for you the lowlights, the worst clips from the Trump cabinet members, just trying desperately to find anything that might sound reasonable for why their irrational mad king seems hell-bent on single-handedly destroying the economy. But first, make sure to subscribe to the Bulwark right here on YouTube. Really, really appreciate it. Tell your friends. Okay. Up first, you know he's my least favorite cabinet secretary. It's a surprise position. I thought it was Cash isn't in the cabinet. I thought it was going to be Tulsi.
I think that if you guys have not, these links are in my description box. Please subscribe to different media. Go check them out if you like them. This would be all of the ones that I recommend are. I think you should check them out.
I thought it might be Hegseth. Sam Stein wanted me to make it RFK, and that was never going to be the least favorite for me. Not an RFK man, of course. Like, we're picking the worst of the worst here. But man, maybe it could be Rubio, maybe not. Kristi Noem, a chance. Turns out Scotty Bessent is the one that I have found to be the worst because he is out there in a just very affected, condescending way, defending the stupidest policy this country has put in place since Iraq, probably. Anyway, okay, here it is.
And Scott Bessent is the Treasury Secretary, of all people.
Scott Bessent. Let's play the first clip from him on Meet the Press.
Markets lost more than $6 trillion in value. Was this disruption always part of the plan, Mr. Secretary?
Look, Chris, markets are organic, animals, and you never know what the reaction is going to be. One thing that I can tell you as the Treasury Secretary, what I've been very impressed with is the market infrastructure, that we had record volume on Friday, and everything is working very smoothly. So the American people, they can be very take great comfort in that. And in terms of the market reaction, look, we get these short-term market reactions from time to time. The market consistently underestimates Donald Trump.
Okay, a couple things to point out there. First, he's talking about how happy he is that everything's working smoothly. Like, what? Is this Belarus? Are we in Libya right now? Like, it is something that we think is nice if the markets don't totally crash or not work. Or as long as people can make their trades. Are we living in a trade and barter system? Are we returning to autarky? We're like, what? Yeah. In the United States, the fucking stock market should work. All right. That's not really like a pat yourself on the back type situation. But okay, you're looking for something. I get it. The line at the end there, though, was the one that most stood out to me. Scott Bessent wants you to think the market underestimates Donald Trump. That Trump is going to surprise them and turn everything around. That's the opposite of what happened in the stock market this week. I thought that you were an investor. I thought that you were an expert from hedge fund world. I thought you understood the market system and capitalism and stocks and bonds and buying and selling and short. I thought you understood this. The fact that the market crashed this week was a reflection of the fact that the market overestimated Trump. Okay, they didn't think you all were going to be this fucking stupid. Because if they realized, like I did, and if they'd been listening to the Bulwark, if the Wall Street poobahs had been listening to the Bulwark, they would have known that this was going to be a disaster, and the market would have priced that in between November and April. But they were hopeful that I don't know, cooler heads would prevail, that their man Scotty Bessent in there would be able to talk Trump off the ledge. Nope, they were wrong. So the market overestimated Trump. Actually, that's why it crashed. So there's Bessent. Probably actually the worst cabinet secretary is not Scott Bessent, but is Howard Lutnick. He's next. But he's so stupid that it's hard for me to kind of get my dander up about him. And he's like a clown. I don't know about you guys, but I'm much more agitated by somebody who seems like they know better, who's nefarious.
I concur with that. Scott Bessent. What is this guy's name? Not Bessent. What is he? What is the guy?
Dander up about him.
Nut, What is this dude's name again? The Commerce Secretary.
Probably actually the worst cabinet secretary is not Scott Bessent, but it's Howard Lutnick. He's next.
Howard Lutnick.
But he's so.
If you guys, he's a Commerce Secretary. He is the Commerce Secretary who said that you guys should go out there and buy some Tesla stock. He is, which is something that a Commerce Secretary should never do from the White House. Tell you what stock to buy. Hedging the stock for a individual company, something he should never do. He is also the one who said if his 94-year-old grandmother didn't get her Social Security check, she wouldn't wonder what happened. She wouldn't worry. She would just wait till the next month to see if her check came. And people who are calling are the ones who are frauding Social Security. Let's understand that this is a multi-billionaire who said this about his 94-year-old mother-in-law. Bullshit. So let's continue.
Stupid that it's hard for me to kind of get my dander up about him, and he's like a clown. I don't know about you guys, but I'm much more agitated by somebody who seems like they know better, who's nefarious, where I put Bessent in that category, versus somebody who is a moron putting on clown makeup and just trying to get attention for themselves. I don't, it's like, it's kind of why the Dan Crenshaws of the world are rile me up more than the Marjorie Taylor Greens. Anyway, Lutnick is in the latter category. I have two clips from him. Face the Nation on CBS. Let's play the first bit.
Mr. Secretary, the campaign's over. You won. So I'm asking what the plan is. So the Treasury Secretary said on another network, we're going to hold the course. It's not the kind of thing you can negotiate away in days or weeks. That makes it sound like the tariffs are staying in place at least for days or weeks. Is that correct, or is the president considering postponing implementation to negotiate?
There is no postponing. They are definitely going to stay in place for days and weeks. That is sort of obvious. The president needs to reset global trade.
Okay, so here he's just laying the groundwork.
So the president, who is only good at bankrupting businesses after being born into wealth, and getting loans from so many banks to prop up, kind of playing what is that? A Ponzi scheme with himself, taking money from a bank to prop up this business, taking money from this one, robbing from Peter to pay Paul in his businesses to the point where no bank would even lend to him. So this is who we're supposed to trust, that is knows what he's doing. Are we serious? Let's continue.
There's not going to be any postponing. There's still some wish casting out there. I'm seeing it.
Now it seems like there may be some postponing coming up. Let's see what the day brings, because it seems like he has no excuse, no way out, and he's hedging a little bit on the no postponing these tariffs. But it doesn't matter. Does it really matter that you come out and announce all of these crazy tariffs to every country in the world except for Russia and North Korea, except for those countries? Does it matter? Do you think somebody gonna give a fuck? Do you think somebody gonna relax and say, oh, it's okay after you did this knee-jerk bullshit? No, people gonna protect themselves. Wouldn't you protect yourself if somebody came and took all the value out of your home or something like that? Wouldn't you protect yourself so that couldn't happen again? I'm sure you would. Let's continue.
Among my old traditional conservative friends, oh, he's just going to negotiate. He's just going to negotiate. We're even seeing it from Elon. I'll get to that in a different video. This is all part of some 40 chess strategic plan. And Lutnick is just the blunt force instrument that's like, nope. No postponing, no matter how.
And the thing about it is, yeah, he's playing dimensional chess. Can you even see 45, 47 having the mental capability to sit down and play any type of chess at all? I don't see him having the patience. We know that he is so in his feeling that he cheats at golf. So can you imagine him trying to sit down? He doesn't have doesn't have the attention span to play golf. So quit with this dimensional 3 and 4 dimensional golf bullshit analogies about this motherfucker. Let me see. you guys can watch this on your own. I just wanted to see, let you to see what the kiss asses were saying to
How bad it
appease
gets, no
this.
matter how stupid it is, we are pedal to the metal.
Remember, the army of millions and millions of human beings screwing in little screws to make iPhones, that kind of thing is going to come to America.
Okay. So
we're going to be granted with jobs, manufacturing. Remember the people who were screwing in little screws for the iPhone? You mean those ones that they had to put nets up?
With Jacob.
You mean the ones that they had to put nets up around the buildings because people were jumping off the building, committing suicide because of the poor work conditions? How much do you think they were paying these people in China, and what do you think the markup to the labor market was on these iPhones? They were paying these people pennies on the dollars. So they're going to bring that type of manufacturing to the United States, and they're going to pay a living wage, American living wage in the United States. Well, you guys have been sure to keep the minimum wage down at $7.45, while most states have after the pandemic have raised their wages to some 15, some 18, because they had to do this by the states. Let the states decide. So do you think that they are going to put a manufacturing company anywhere that somebody is paying living wages after paying pennies on the dollar? How long is it going to take to build these manufacturing jobs and all of this? So they're going to build the manufacturing jobs, hire people, and get it going within how many years? How many years? Well, y'all gonna have to have pain for a little while. I thought we were supposed to have low prices in our groceries in a little while. Who ever heard of the word groceries? I start using the word groceries, and everybody start using groceries. And we suppose a man who says that he started using the word. Who ever heard of that word? Everybody's using the word groceries now. And we are to believe that he is going to make this economy he wrecked under the guise that he had a professional who knew a professional who was himself. Come on. What to actually have Peter Navarro in the administration a second time after this story has already broken in his first administration tells you that nothing good is going to come of this.
President Trump laid out with a giant graphic of all the countries.
Now, this is the agriculture secretary. This is a bitch who said, if your egg prices are too high, why don't you guys go out and buy some chickens to lay some eggs in your backyard? This is her. So let's see what she thinks. She thought you should go buy some chickens because the egg price, that's all she had for you. So why is she on here talking about any economic policies? I have no idea, but let's find out.
Where tariffs were going to be, what he called reciprocal tariffs were going to be imposed. And you're imposing a 10% tariff on the herd in McDonald Islands. The herd in McDonald Islands have 0 human inhabitants. They have 0 exports. They have 0 imports. They do have a lot of penguins. Why are you putting import tariffs on islands that are entirely populated by penguins?
Okay, watch her get around this question. I have no answer for this question. Why do you have tariffs on a place that have no people, that does no trade? Why do you have tariff on an island that the only thing that's on that island is a United States military base? Watch her get around this question.
To replace the table, we
Hold on. We got a Mercial. Hold on. She has no answer.
Well, I mean, that, come on, Jake. Obviously, here's the bottom line.
Jake, come on. I mean, obviously what, bitch? Obviously what, bitch? Come on. You come on. Obviously what, bitch? What? I don't see the obviousness in it. Help me out, Ho.
Herd in McDonald Islands have zero human inhabitants. They have zero exports. They have zero imports. They do have a lot of penguins. Why are you putting import tariffs on islands that are entirely populated by penguins?
Well, I mean, come on, Jake. Obviously, here's the bottom line. We live under a tariff regime from other countries. We have too long
the McDonald Islands is not imposing
the idea that America goes first. I mean, come on. Whatever. Listen.
No, it's not whatever. It's your president's policy. You came on here to be on TV to talk about them. So talk about them, bitch.
The people that are leading this are serious, intentional, patriotic, the smartest people I've ever worked with.
Okay, so you worked with a bunch of dummies in all the rest of your life. You worked with these are the smartest people you've ever worked with. So they made a dumb decision to put tariffs on a place that only have penguins. And do you think these are the smartest people you've ever worked with? That's the question she's answering. That's the question that was posed to her. This is her answer.
I did not come up with the formulas. I'm the ag secretary. I studied agriculture at Texas A&M.
Cookie there. She's struggling. She is struggling. Why are we putting import tariffs on penguins? She doesn't have a good answer. But she will tell you this. She studied ag at Texas A&M, and these are the smartest people she's ever been around.
Okay, one more.
Let's take a listen.
Let's see who he is again.
Save you watching the whole pencil-headed defense of the tariffs because it wasn't really any better than the other guys. But there was one clip I did find funny. He was pushed by George Stephanopoulos about why Russia was cut out of the tariffs. It is curious. Let's take a listen to his answer.
Why did the president not include Russia on the list of countries who are facing tariffs?
There's obviously an ongoing negotiation with Russia and Ukraine, and I think the president made the decision not to conflate the two issues. It doesn't mean that Russia, the fullest of time, is going to be treated wildly different than every other country.
But Russia is one of the only countries, one of the few countries that is not subject to these new tariffs, aren't they?
They're in the middle of a negotiation, George, aren't they?
Well, I'm asking a different question. Why? And I just want to know why.
Would you literally advise that you go in and put a whole bunch of new things on the table in the middle of a negotiation that affects so many American and Ukrainian and Russian lives?
Not wise to introduce new issues into these negotiations midstream. That's interesting.
But I thought that this was an America's first policy. Why wouldn't you? This is America first. Now you're worried about things that are affecting Ukrainian lives. You weren't worried about it when Russia was continuing to bomb the Ukrainians when they were supposed to be under a ceasefire agreement. You didn't care about the Ukrainian lives when Zelensky was in the White House. He was asking for securities be put on Russia that they would not continue to strike him after a ceasefire while he was striking them during a ceasefire when he was sitting in your Washington, D.C. In your Washington, D.C. White House. You didn't care about anything. You didn't care about Ukrainian lives. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you about that. These are the responses from other people. Hey, Z Sarah, it is good to see you as well. Ronnie Q, you're gonna make me put some what is Jameson in my coffee? I don't know what Jameson is. That's insane. The trade deficit is not a tariff. It's why penguins don't do tariffs. I feel sorry for her if they are the smartest people she's ever worked with. He looked like a child at a show and telling I'm the rose garden. Wait a minute. He looked like a child at a show and telling I'm in the rose garden with his nonsense board. Yes, his nonsense board. I get what you're saying now. Jameson is the good whiskey. I don't drink whiskey. That's why I didn't know what it is. Grand Rising, Yatanya. Now, so what would you rather? What would you rather if you had put the nation in this type of crux? It seems like these are the most intelligent people she's worked with. So, play golf with the Saudis, or do this. Do you guys heard about the 4 soldiers who passed away in Lithuania? You may have heard about that. They were on a training expedition, and unfortunately, their truck that they were in sank, and I guess they have recovered all 4 of them. They had recovered 3, and they were looking for the 4th. So they had the service where they brought them back. You heard about that? They had a service where the dignified exchange of the corpse happened. And while all presidents don't attend these events, our president decided to attend a golf event. It's not like he doesn't play golf. It's not like he's been without being able to play golf since he's been in the administration, but he's played golf 10 out of the 11 weekends that he has been in the presidency. So you mean to tell me, but this was a golf tournament with the Saudis. Of course he had to be there. Okay, so let's see how the Lithuanian people transfer the bodies out of Lithuania. You guys want to see? Let's check it out. And there was no one. I don't think he sent a representative. He didn't even send that eyeliner face J.D. Vance in his stead. Nothing.
There are soldiers from Lithuania. There's some others from Germany as well. But look what they have tucked into their pockets. They have little American flags just below the flag of their own countries sewn onto their sleeves. In the capital city of Lithuania yesterday, thousands of soldiers and dignitaries, and also just ordinary people, lined up in the streets to pay their respects and to honor 4 American soldiers who died in Lithuania this past week during a training exercise. The ceremony was attended by the president of Lithuania, who gave a speech on the occasion. He said that for Lithuanians, serving your country is not just a duty, but an emotion. And you could really see that among the people who gathered. Lithuanian citizens were moved to tears, moved to genuine grief. But again, this was a ceremony for Americans, for American soldiers. Officials arranged for an archbishop to bless the motorcade before it drove to the airport to start the process of returning those remains, returning those soldiers to the U.S. In our country, of course, it is a sacred tradition that when members of the armed services die in the line of duty overseas, their remains come home to the U.S. on what's called a dignified transfer. Their remains are flown home specifically to Dover Air Base with American flags draped over the coffins. It's a very somber, very important, very serious, very specific ceremony. And a dignified transfer is often attended by the President of the United States as a sign of respect from the Commander-in-Chief. After that very moving send-off from Lithuania and from the government and the people of Lithuania, the White House announced here in the United States that when those 4 young fallen American soldiers landed back home here in the U.S., President Donald Trump would not attend the dignified transfer. He would not be waiting at Dover to pay respects to the service members who died, even as Lithuania's president made sure he was there to see them off. Donald Trump has decided instead that he's going to Florida to watch a golf tournament and to go to a golf dinner tonight. You know, given his previous comments, I guess you could say this is consistent with his apparent level of investment on this issue. I got to tell you, we do not play a lot of tape of Donald Trump talking on this show. We sort of that's not a hard and fast rule, but kind of a rule of thumb on the show is that we try to cover what the president does rather than just what he says. He gets plenty of coverage for what he says. I prefer to focus on actions rather than his words. In this case, though, I'm going to make a little bit of an exception. I think what he said here is its own kind of action. I just want you to see it. It's very brief. This is how Donald Trump, President of the United States, responded when he was asked about the service members in Lithuania after they were first went missing.
Say
You been briefed about the soldiers in Lithuania who are missing?
No, I haven't.
Nope.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. That's all that he had to say, and he wasn't curious about when they asked him about that signal. What are they saying? You have a whole brief team, and they didn't brief you on that. They said that you don't read your daily briefings, but surely you got somebody to stand up there and read off the folders of executive orders that you are signing that you're not reading either. Surely you could have somebody stand in front of you and read your daily security briefings. I'm sure that was in one of them, but no, I haven't. No. Next question. Hey, room shaker. Oh, say, can we see? Bye. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag, to somebody who don't give a fuck about me. Ciao. If these motherfuckers don't get out of here with this dumb shit, talking about this dumb motherfucker who gives zero fucks about them, they better. Okay. So that's what I wanted to show you about that. So Hexeth was probably somewhere doing shots. Yeah, you think he'd have shown up? How come the drunk wasn't there? Yeah, he probably was somewhere doing shots. I concur. Okay, so let me now the hammer has come down. So that's the right reason why contempt. You can't trust a criminal is the title of my video. He is likely. He has the judge has given him until midnight tonight to get that guy home from Virginia who is in El Salvador prison, who they admitted that they made a mistake. And then when the judge said get him back home and he has to be back home, you know what that cocky bitch that he has as a spokeswoman said? Well, he may want to contact the El Salvador president because we have no jurisdiction over there. But you did have jurisdiction over the prisoners when you got the first notice to turn the planes around and do not take them there. So she gave a huffy little exchange, but of course the always in court, the litigious Donald J. Trump had gone to an appeals court, and the appeals judge said the exact same thing. So now they're waiting to see if they're going to be held in contempt of court. Okay, so they were told by the initial judge and the appellate judge that they have to bring this man home. So there is nothing else left to do but to charge them in contempt of court. They should charge, in my opinion, they should charge everyone who had a hand in the denying the court orders up into the lawyers who were arguing the case. And speaking about the lawyers who were arguing the case that these ridiculous arguments that they were sent up there to argue, do you know that those lawyers have been put on suspension, basically? I'm pretty sure they're going to be fired by Pam Bondi. Because what did Pam Bondi? She expects all of her lawyers to go up there and vigorously defend their cases and this, that, and the other. So because the lawyers could not How you going to win over a judge with when you did an unlawful thing? So the lawyers who argued these cases and the judge who didn't go for the bullshit that they were putting up, how come Pam Bondi didn't go up there and argue her own case then? So it's kind of similar to the case in New York where they wanted to pardon the mayor and 7 U.S. attorneys resigned rather than do something that was they felt that was unlawful. So I don't know if you guys know that these attorneys who had to drag their asses up there with these weak excuses that Bondi wanted to do, talking about it was state secrets and all of this shit, and none of that flew. So therefore the lawyers, whatever, interchangeable, were put on leave by the Justice Department. If it's not him getting attention, he's not interested. I concur. Okay. So, did you guys know that? Were you guys aware of that? Okay. So, let me give you a little bit about I gave you that. Here we go. Oh, I don't want to share that. Wrong video. Let me stop screen. Hold on. Let me find what I'm looking for. Here we go. So we're going to give you the whole legal breakdown of this order.
In our last episode, we talked about a big ruling handed down from a judge where the judge ruled that the Trump administration had to return a migrant who was wrongly deported due to an administrative error to a prison, a maximum security prison in El Salvador. The Trump administration has responded saying, and I'll put the tweet right here on the screen, "We suggest the judge contact President Bukele because we are unaware of the judge having jurisdiction or authority over the country of El Salvador." So basically, this White House is saying that they are perfectly content to wrongly deport people, legal residents from this country, but once it comes time to actually get them back here, well, our hands are tied. There's nothing we can do. Can you speak on that, on the legality of what they're seeking to do here, which is just to basically claim that they have no jurisdiction once they wrongly deport someone out of this country?
Yeah, Brian, get ready for the bouncing ball of injustice. 3 quick data points. 1, a judge issued an order prohibiting the United States government from deporting Mr. Garcia back to El Salvador. 2, the U.S. government did it anyway. They said, whoops, it was an administrative error. I'm not buying the administrative error line, but that is the explanation they're offering in court. But Brian, they are acknowledging that there was a lawful order prohibiting the government from deporting him to El Salvador, and they're claiming, whoops, they did it anyway, but it was an administrative error. And here comes data point number 3. The U.S. government, the Department of Justice, said it is, quote, not possible for the U.S. government to get Garcia back from El Salvador. And here is the horrific line in a brand new pleading that was filed today by the Department of Justice. They said that, the judge is commanding us, the defendants, the U.S. government, to do something that we have no independent authority to do. Make El Salvador release Abrego Garcia and send him to America. Brian, that right there is some Banana Republic bullshit, and I'm not referring to El Salvador. We, the United States, are the Banana Republic. When they say we can just unlawfully snatch up, stuff into a plane, and send to prisons in foreign countries, not just anybody, but people who not only don't deserve to go to those countries, but somebody who the court has ordered we may not deport to those countries. But we strike a deal with El Salvador. We say, you house these people, you imprison these people that we're sending your way. And then even when they admit they were wrong for doing it in the first place, they say, we don't have the authority to tell the El Salvadoran government to open the prison door for this one wrongfully deported individual, give him back to the United States so we can comply with the court order and return him to the United States. I mean, again, if that's not some banana republic stuff, I don't know what it is.
Glenn, I guess what I'm having trouble wrapping my head around is for the DOJ to fight this. I mean, imagine fighting to keep a guy who is wrongfully detained in an El Salvadoran gulag in El Salvador. Like, why would the tack they take be, okay, we've admitted that we were wrong, but now our goal is to do nothing?
Because they don't care. They don't care when they do wrong. Never admit wrong. He was told to never admit wrong. If you guys saw the movie about 45, 47, Roy Cohen was his lawyer who instructed him, you never admit wrong. So they think that this is just perfectly fine. So if they think this is perfectly fine, understand why I think this is important. Because I think this is important is because if they think that it's perfectly fine to do it to anyone, what makes you think that they won't think it would be perfectly fine to disappear American citizens? That's my whole point. So the link is in my description box. Let me see. Okay, the link is in my description box. So let's move on. I thought that was Luigi Boo for a hot second. I love my country and stand in solidarity with my fellow Americans. However, this country is a mess, to say the least. Yes, it is. Liz is so awful. It's so awful, honestly. Hey, the Bushes, Grand Rising. Thank you for coming in. Please hit the like button if you have not already. So now let's watch the muskrat lose it about him losing money. How grand it is, the statements that he's making since the effects of the stock market has hit him. This is Adam Mogler. Please subscribe to him. The link is in the description box. Let's see how the tides have changed since he hasn't even lost everything. He just only lost $30 billion. So, he's the richest man on earth. $30 billion, that's like a drop in the bucket. He can wipe his ass with $30 billion. He's out here putting chainsaws to people's whole entire jobs, their whole entire existences. And he was doing it with revel and glee. So let's check this out.
You know it's not going well when Elon Musk decides to launch a public feud with one of Trump's top trade advisors for no reason. I mean, I've been wondering where Elon's been. He's been relatively quiet during this whole tariff tantrum or market massacre, whatever you want to call it. Elon Musk has bit his tongue until last night when he decided to publicly take a swipe at Peter Navarro, who is one of Trump's longtime allies and his top trade advisor. And Navarro...
He probably saw that Rachel Maddow story. That's probably what made him perk up. He finally realized that he had something on him. But let's not act like he's the smartest tool in the shed either. So he probably saw that Rachel Maddow story that told that the tariff situation came from Navarro, quoting a fictional person who was in his books saying that tariffs were the way to go. So that's probably why he came out against the tariffs. and Navarro
just decided to strike back at Elon. So I want to break all of this down from the beginning because I truly do think we're beginning to see some cracks within the Trump admin and his approval rating. I mean, before we dig into this article, read this. Trump approval rating goes negative with Republican pollster for the first time. And the reasoning is incredibly simple. When something like January 6th happened, most Americans weren't affected on a day-to-day basis. They didn't see it break through into their lives. They maybe just heard about it on the radio. When Trump went to court or when he shared national documents, when he did all of these things, most people weren't affected, save COVID, but he lost the election because of COVID, I would argue. Now, people are beginning to be affected in their day-to-day lives. When they drive past the gas station, higher prices. When they go to the grocery store, higher prices. You want to buy a car or a gift or buy anything for your kid, higher prices, which is the exact opposite of what Trump promised. So now we're seeing this. President Trump's approval rating has turned negative for the first time in a poll conducted by a Republican-leaning firm. According to Rasmussen's daily poll tracker, if you've been following political polling, Rasmussen is pretty far right. I mean, they lean Trump. As of April 4th, which is after Liberation Day, this is one of the first post-Liberation Day polls, Trump's approval rating sits at 49%, while 50% disapprove with his job performance. And if you think 49% is high, just remember that this is Rasmussen and also his economic...
Okay, so to answer your question, Z Sarah, I was talking about that. What's the other company for the AI company? I think he may have. I don't know. I'm thinking he may have sold it to the other company because the other company is about to get an influx of dollars from the government. He is building a big compound in Memphis, Tennessee. And the contract was signed under an NDA, and even the city council between the mayor and Musk and has an NDA on the contract. And he met with the utility suppliers, and they say that they have no contract with him, but it's going to take a lot of energy to fund this project. It's called Colossal. It's after the movie in the 70s. Where AI takes over everything and it soon take over people. So this is his AI compound. So I imagine that he's going to direct 4547 to infuse this next venture with plenty of the United States dollars since he allegedly has found so much waste, fraud, and abuse, but has never proven any of it. That's what I think it is about. And now that he has ramshackled through all of our personal information, all of the Treasury information, IRS information, has everything that he needs out of our government systems. He signed the contract last April, and they fast-paced building this whole compound. So he has all the information that he needs and could sell to China, because we know that he has a lot of business dealings in China and connection in China. We know that he was in contact with the Russians over the Bidens for years. So he has everything he needs to either sell or use. That's what that as far as his AI thing is going. And he bought a whole lot. I don't know if he bought it or if it was given to him by the Memphis mayor. We don't know, because it was an NDA. He did it under NDA. So even the city council doesn't know what this deal is. And the city council wants to put the brakes on it because they don't know how it's going to affect their power, who said they don't have any the power company says they don't have any deals with them. They don't know how it's going to affect their water supply, because they said that Memphis has had some bad dealings in the past. So it's a secretive deal. And that's all I can tell you. I covered it under one of my videos. I think it was either Thursday or Friday. Go check it out. Let's continue with this. Elon loses it over Trump's administration destruction.
Approval rating is very quickly swirling down the toilet. So the point is, I want to continue applying pressure at these key moments and pointing out that Elon Musk doesn't agree with the Trump admin on trade. The Trump admin doesn't agree with the Trump admin on trade. What I mean by that is they all seem to have contradictory statements coming out. Like, look at this. One of Trump's top officials was so freaked out by the tariffs, he wants to quit. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent may be planning to cut and run after Donald Trump's disastrous, quote, reciprocal tariff announcement earlier this week. And Trump does seem to have some sort of plan, but it's a dumb plan. It is a really, really dumb plan. I was reading this incredibly interesting article how Trump wants to end this whole tariff chaos in something called the Mar-a-Lago Accords. He wants to recreate the accords that happened in 1985 and in 1944 that reshaped global trade, but he wants to do it at Mar-a-Lago. And that's the most Trumpian thing ever. Of course, he wants Mar-a-Lago to go down in the history books, the Mar-a-Lago Accord, but most experts think it's not going to happen. But here, during an appearance on MSNBC's Morning Joe, contributor Stephanie Ruhle reported that
the only thing that's going to go down in the history of behind this these tariffs is the fact that he was an idiot to put these tariffs on. Whatever the government is paying Elon is waste when he is leaving. He still keeps that money. He still keep that money though. That contract that he stole from Verizon to revamp the FAA. System that they use to bring in the planes and everything, he still stole that money from this contract, and I hope Verizon sues him. I really hope Verizon sues him. Nobody wants to talk about that. It is data mining. That's exactly what he's doing. Data mining for his AI company. When China has already surpassed them and beat them in AI. And they don't need all of this land to cool off their servers that Elon Musk and what's that other guy's name over Google, or not over at Google. There's another guy. Oh, man. I should have written his name down. They don't need all of this land to excuse my husband if y'all heard that burp. They don't need all of this land to cool down their servers as well. And they made their AI, which is supposedly a more superior AI than this stuff that they're working on that needs lots of land and water to cool down the servers. You notice in that report that I gave you on that Memphis thing, they were worried about the gray water tank, the gray water that they use to cool down the servers, and then where's that water going to go? That's why the city council, another reason why the city council wants to put a halt on this project until they can find out more about this project. Because in many cases, that's why he is so in love with reducing regulations, which means that gray water that he is creating from his plant, he does not have to be environmentally responsible for it beyond a certain degree. And if it leaches into the public water systems, oh well. He can, it's only so much they're going to request of him. That's why he hates the EPA regulations so much. So I'm done talking about that. We talked about that. Thank you for bringing that up, Z Sarah. But go check out the video. The greed, it makes me nut. They are all too emotional for me. He gets to keep secret, but everyone else's private information is fair game. Disgusting. No, our information is not fair game. In fact, it is illegal for people to have our information that are not supposed to have our information. All of the people who told them that they in the Treasury Department, in the Social Security Department, who denied Doge access, they were all hauled out of their office. Locks, keys, new keys were made. They were locked out, physically locked out. So they are aware that they are not allowed to have our information. And what did they do? They went in there and got it anyway. It's my opinion that it's my opinion that they should be sued for illegally getting our information. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let me continue with this back and forth now that he's going to have with Navarro. I just showed you who Navarro is, and now they saying that Musk lost $30 billion this weekend.
The key cabinet member is already looking for an escape hatch. Quote, my sources say that Scott Bessent is the kind of odd man out here, and in the inner circle that Trump has, he's not even close to Scott Bessent or listening to him, Rule said. Some have said to me, he's looking for an exit door to try to get himself to the Fed because in the last few days, he's really hurting his own credibility and history in the markets. And to be sure, Trump.
Now, he's definitely Scott Bessent. The only asset that Scott Bessent, he's over the Treasury. The only asset he was when the old Treasury Department person, the one who was standing in until Trump's nominee was either nominated or he had a new nominee. He did not allow the muskrats into the payment system of the Treasury Department. Let's remember, we got to go back. We can't forget this shit. The stand-in until Bessent was voted in did not allow it. And Scott Bessent opened the door and said, go have whatever you want. So who gives a fuck? Nobody gives a fuck about it. Of course, Trump doesn't give a fuck about Bessent anymore. Because he did his do-boy duties, and that's all he was there for. That's all any of them are there for, to do their do-boy, do-girl duties.
Trump's tariff policy represents a sort of defeat for Bessent, a former hedge fund manager who's now watching all of the hedge fund buddies that he's worked with run around with their hair on fire, you know? Well, let's go here. Elon Musk melts down at Trump's tariff guru. This says Elon Musk has taken a massive swipe at President Donald Trump's trade advisor amid the deepening economic chaos caused by sweeping Liberation Day tariffs. And just for some insight, I know that Elon Musk disagrees with the tariffs because I saw a clip of him from about 5 years back. I couldn't find it while doing the research for this episode, but there was a clip I watched last week of Elon Musk saying 5 years ago that tariffs are bad for the economy, that if you're going to do tariffs, you need to leave 12 months to 24 months as a grace period to reshore manufacturing. And Donald Trump did not do that. Can I very quickly say, we are in the top 10 fastest growing channels of Q1. If you want us to beat Joe Rogan, make sure you subscribe. We were right below Joe Rogan in terms of Q1 growth. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, I have a debate on the YouTube channel Jubilee coming out today. Today at about noon, your time, no matter where you are at about noon, if you look up the YouTube channel Jubilee, you'll see a debate that I did. Go check it out. They've got 10 million followers on YouTube. Go find the YouTube channel. Jubilee, Jubilee. So here's Peter Navarro explaining the tariffs, and then we'll break down the Elon Musk response that started everything.
The economist tools, because it's based on concepts like export and import demand elasticities, currency adjustments, and things like that. But here's the analytical issue we're trying to do under the principle that the president wants to charge those countries what they charge us. As you pointed out, Vietnam has a applied tariff rate. It's much larger than ours, but doesn't come near the tariff we charge them. So the question is, how do you value the following, Phil? So let me count the ways. You got to value.
You know what's really interesting here is that Elon Musk is actually kind of right in this situation. So what Peter Navarro was doing on CNN was just spinning. He was doing a spin job. Look at the Chiron. Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ have worst day since 2020. So Trump's top trade advisor decides to go onto CNN and try to defend the policy. And it's all just word vomit. Like none of it makes any sort of sense. So Insurrection Barbie on Twitter, what a name, Insurrection Barbie, says, here's Peter Navarro explaining the tariffs. Peter Navarro has a PhD in economics from Harvard. Here's where Elon decides to take a swipe. He says, a PhD in econ from Harvard is a bad thing, not a good thing. That is Elon Musk's anti-intellectualism. He's saying that people at Harvard aren't necessarily more smart. I disagree with that part. He then says, results in the ego-brains ratio over one problem. He's basically saying that when your ego is larger than your brain and the ratio is above 1, then it's bad. And people at Harvard largely have a bigger ego than brain, is what Elon Musk is claiming in this post. It's, again, just anti-intellectual, anti-science.
Okay, so but they want you to tell you how intelligent Elon Musk is. Listen. Okay, this back and forth is in my description box. I don't, and of course Navarro is doing word salad because he finally got 45, 47 to do these mass tariffs, and he see that the Emperor Navarro has no clothes. What is done to the economy, and he knows that he's going to be bounced out of this administration, and all of his secrets will be dumped out by this administration. You know, the secrets that he would not come on and tell when he was when Congress subpoenaed him about the January 6th shit. That shit's gonna spill too. Just a whole idiot. Let me see what he's saying on this. Adam is still talking. Adam, go over and check out this page. Let's see what he's talking about.
And he must be down tens of billions of dollars in the market over the past few days.
And the sum and substance of all of this, Jackie, it's like every country around the world cheats us, but it's like fingerprints. They all do it in different ways, but it all comes down to the non-tariff cheating. It was interesting to hear Elon Musk at the beginning talk about a zero tariff zone with Europe. He doesn't understand that. And the thing that's, I think, important about Elon to understand, he sells cars. That's what he does. And if you look, for example, at the Tesla factories in Texas, they're assembly plants, and they get a lot of their content from China, Mexico, Japan, and Taiwan and elsewhere.
Okay, so he's basically calling Elon Musk out for being self-interested and having conflicts of interest. He's saying that when you call Europe a terror.
But you didn't call Elon Musk out at any other time when he was stealing contracts from other people. So go over there and check that out. Now, I want to talk about these DOJ attorneys who were fired because they could not fight these illegal cases that they had about sending these people on to El Salvador after they were ordered to turn the planes around. One plane hadn't even taken off. So I want to share this with you.
Are set to host.
Hold on, let me make sure it's sharing. Okay, it's sharing. So I want to get to what Pam Bondi is saying. This is one of the attorneys right here in the pink. She was fired for giving her opinion about why a case wasn't viable to try. And she was summarily embarrassed and fired by Pam Bundy. And she's giving her story. But let's go right here.
The NBC reported late yesterday that the Justice Department placed the attorney who struggled to explain a Maryland man's deportation to a judge and why he was on leave. They placed him on leave. Yep. And at my direction, every Department of Justice attorney is required to zealously advocate on behalf of the United States. Attorney General Pam Bondi said in a statement, any attorney who fails to abide by this direction will face consequences. You were fired because you did speak out in your form at work, and they asked you to do something, and you said this does not comport with the law, and I don't see the reasoning. And it wasn't combative. You were literally on the email chain doing from my knowledge, doing what you were supposed to do. Give your legal expertise and analysis, and is this something the United States government could and should do? And you gave that, and they didn't like that, and they fired you for it. Now we have attorneys being dismissed left and right for, I guess in this instance, not being able to defend the BS.
Well, Simone, no one has ever taken the time to explain to me why I was fired.
Oh, really? So they just got rid of you?
Well, let me tell you what happened that day. I was in a meeting of a working group that was being run by some members of the Deputy Attorney General's staff. And in the middle of that meeting, I got a frantic message from a colleague back in my office who told me that there were 2 security officers waiting in my office to deliver me termination papers and walk me out of the building. And they did that a Friday afternoon. I was in a meeting with members of DOJ staff from numerous different offices, and I had to go back to my office. I had minutes to pack up my personal belongings, and I literally walked out of the office with a grocery bag filled with my personal effects in front of my entire staff that afternoon. People were in tears. People were shocked. And there's been no explanation from the leadership of the department to the people in my former office about why I was fired, no guidance about how to go forward that I am aware of. And that is traumatizing to people. It's traumatizing to the dedicated professionals in the Department of Justice who are there trying to do their jobs, to serve the American people, to keep us safe, to ensure that we have the best country possible. That's what everyone there is dedicated to doing. And the leadership of the department is currently making it impossible to do that.
you know,
Oh my
it's
God.
it's so aggravating.
Oh.
It's so aggravating to hear stories like this because
Okay, so they are eating their own at this time. They are making these unconstitutional positions and then sending these attorneys in there to defend them. If they can't defend, how come they not defending their own shit? If they can't defend them, they're losing their jobs. So what the fuck is this shit? What the fuck is this shit? Okay, so let me share with you this as well. If you thought that the Department of Education closing down would not affect your children, you guys have been told that the states do, most states pay up to 83% of the cost for your children to go to school, but that does not, a lot of these schools, they want to give waivers to go to private schools and things like that. And these private schools, they do not have to accept special needs students. And you understand that the bulk of the money to educate special needs students, I think they call them Title I students, comes from the federal budget because it costs more to educate these students. So a lot of schools may not be accepting the students if it's a voucher program. And in poorer states, like the red states, which are poorer states, they don't have the money to do it. So they will not appear to be getting the money from the federal government. So maybe that's why they're weakening child labor laws, and maybe we can get a healthy amount of children to go into the workforce. You heard that guy say those good jobs that Apple have with the Chinese screwing in those small screws. Those are the jobs that he said that were coming back to America. So maybe we can get the small hands of children to screw in those screws, these fabulous jobs that are coming back to America because of these tariffs. A win-win, but unfortunately not for your children. Let me. I'm just saying, these people are crazy. Let me find that. Let me find that. I thought I already put this up. Oh, here it is. Yes, here we go. Let's check this out. Here we go. It's in my description box. The threat is real. Trump threatens to cut public school funding in 10 days over DEI policies. So they have 10 days to say if they are changing their DEI policies, but there's more to that too, as well.
Said something like this.
We're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs. Your state is going to control your children's education. We're going to move education into the states. Let the states run the schools.
Well, apparently that doesn't apply across the board. This week, the Trump administration told state education officials they have just 10 days to prove they've eliminated all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs from public schools, or they will risk losing federal funding. Now, here's the catch, one of the catches, if that doesn't already sound terrible. The Department of Education hasn't even defined what counts as DEI. So schools will have to guess what programs they need to eliminate. Does that mean teaching Black history, multicultural programs? Does it mean MLK celebrations? And if this sounds like it wasn't exactly thought out, that's because it wasn't. The DOE says they'll evaluate violations on a case-by-case basis. What does that mean? I mean, basically, they'll make it up as they go along. So let's be clear, this isn't just about DEI. Project 2025 calls for phasing out federal education funding entirely over the next decade. And what this does is create two different Americas for students when it comes to education. In states like New York or Connecticut, where federal funds make up less than 10% of school budgets, maybe many of the schools could weather the storm. But in places like Mississippi or Kentucky and most inner cities, where nearly a quarter of school funding comes from the federal government, the fallout could be devastating for a generation of kids. Joining me now is the former Secretary of Education under President Biden, Miguel Cardona. Secretary Cardona, my kids are in public school. I think so many people out there watching are wondering what all of this means. And we hear a lot of debates about what federal funding for federal schools and the impact it will be. But for many communities, especially in rural and lower income areas, that money is essential. I mean, I named some of the disparities with states. Can you just explain to people how much of an impact pulling federal funding would have on public schools across the country?
Yeah. Absolutely. But first of all, I would just want to say I'm so happy to see you. I'm so proud of what you're doing. Thank you for having me. And no, you're right. You know, and I look at this also from the lens of a parent, you know, and we want to make sure that our students are getting more, not less. And I think what we're seeing here is the students who are furthest from opportunity, or the students that need the most support, are the ones that are going to be impacted the most. The 26 million students who are economically disadvantaged, many of them in rural communities. We have 9 million rural students, students with disabilities, 7 million students across the country who risk having services provided for them, and the 17 million students who are looking to Pell Grants so they can go to college. So, you know, it's, as you said earlier, they're short on specifics, but I think the threat is there, and we have schools right now scrambling to figure out what it means. You know, does cutting DEI, Jen, mean that we're going to limit opportunities for children with autism or children with Down syndrome to participate in unified sports? Or does it mean that we don't look at the inequity around STEM classes for our girls? We want to recruit girls into STEM programs so they could have access to these high-skill, high-paying careers, right? But that's equity. So educators across the country are scrambling to try to figure this out. And, you know, it's a threat. And as you said before, it's pretty ironic that as they're talking about giving control to the states, there's more federal oversight or threats than ever before. So it is ironic, but educators right now are just trying to serve their children. It's not.
So that is a good point. They're talking about giving oversight to the states, but they're demanding things from the states when you're not giving the states any money. I mean, like they have more oversight of the states about this DEI, these racist policies that they want to be sure that are enacted in every state. Let's be clear. We're going to call the thing a thing. They want to make sure that they, I told you how they are telling other countries that they must enact the United States DEI policy if they want to continue to get contracts with the United States. Other countries. They're trying to spread hate and dissension all across the world. So I wanted to show you guys that. Let me see. There is something else I want to talk about. Let me see. Oh, I talked about the IRS is expected to lose money this year based upon all. I need to show you who that I'll show you who they have running the IRS as well. Here we go. Let's check this out.
Financial fraud that it was last. Elon Musk's doggy scam was exposed for the massive intentional financial fraud that it was last week. But if you're MAGA, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. What are you alluding to? What do you mean financial fraud? Well, see, the issue is that you generally don't watch the Damage Report. You watch Fox News, you watch right-wing media, and they're doing everything they can to make sure that you stay ignorant, both on this topic and in general. But specifically on this topic, I'm referencing this story, which was reported. You had Media Matters, you had Yahoo News, others. The IRS is bracing for a $500 billion drop in revenue as taxpayers skip filing their taxes in the wake of doggy cuts at the IRS. That is based on what experts inside of the IRS is saying. What's that? It's not Keith Olbermann says it's going to be $500 billion drop in revenue because of the doggy cuts at the IRS. This is a massive bombshell report, and it proves that in just this first year alone, the American the revenue that the government has is going to drop by many times what all of the savings doggy can potentially get from other areas. They're not real savings, but even if we were pretending that they were, they're going to be utterly swamped by the losses from this. And because that drop is going to continue year after year after year, this is a promise of the loss of trillions of dollars. And so maybe I'm a nerd or whatever, but I kind of feel like that's something we should be talking about. Unfortunately, many of you who are MAGA don't know anything about this topic because Fox is utterly ignoring it. You are not allowed to talk about this on the air. They have utterly ignored it. And by the way, they have shown that they can talk about Doggy. They can talk about finances. When Doggy says, hey, we saved you $1 billion, oh, they pack the airwaves with it. Then when it's revealed that it wasn't $1 billion, it was $10 million and whatever, it's not really a savings. They don't talk about that either, but at least they broach the subject. In this case, though, literally nothing. Media Matters did an analysis. They had from March 22nd to 27th, there was nothing on Fox News or Fox Business that the government is going to be in the hole $500 billion a year thanks to Elon Musk. And so I kind of think that's important because we all have all this myth making about fiscal sanity and waste, fraud, and abuse. I don't know if there has ever been an economic wound delivered to the American government like we're seeing from Doggy right now, Jackson. What do you make of this story?
I mean, Elon Musk's collapse, unfortunately, is something that all of America has to go through as well. Like his narcissistic collapse and his mortification process that he's going through. We have to go through it too. I mean, this dude was on TV like crying about Tim Walz, as I'm sure you talked about on here already. Like he was like, what a creep, what a jerk. Like this, again, because he has no intuition and no self-awareness, he really feels as if these people are jerks. Elon Musk is a untreated drug addict who doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And for decades has been lying, in 6 months, Tesla's gonna be able to drive a car to the moon and you'll be able to make $30,000 in your sleep a year. And it never happens because he's just a fraud. So all of it's like collapsing down. And he's like, everybody's being so mean to me. Then Donald Trump brings him out and then they have in front of the White House, like, go buy a Tesla. And then, but it's just like they're causing like serious damage to the fabric and foundations of this country. You got $500 billion a year, all these people who are getting fired, all these programs that are getting damaged. This is going to have ripple effects with millions of people. Like millions of people. People don't get their Social Security checks. Medicaid gets defunded by as much as they're trying to get it defunded by. People are going to die.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to trace these things back to missed payments and unfunded this and unfunded that. Like, I mean, there's a big cultural festival in St. Louis that they have every single year. Probably ain't gonna happen this year unless we can get corporate sponsors for it because the funding's dried up. Like these people are drying up so much of what happens in this country, but we supposed to just be cool with it,
Yeah.
But no,
you're totally
people
right.
can't ignore it.
Yeah, like and the Damage Report loves doing those stories of like, hey, comprehensive study shows that 15% more people died over the last. But I don't want to do that. I want to stop that from happening if it's possible. That's why we're talking about this right now. We don't.
And I definitely agree. I gotta split my builders has arrived. Z Sarah, I hope everything goes well with you. It's so good seeing you back. No lies are told. The cult has no idea what's going to happen. Not everyone can afford private anything. Okay, so I just wanted you guys to check that out. Thanks for joining the live stream. Okay, there are a couple of more things that I had on the agenda. Let me go inside and see what else I had. Oh, that let your kids get a job because they're taking the tech classes. The what and why of the tariff. We handled that earlier. Was this a setup for the final solution? I'm going to talk about this war in Israel, in Gaza, because I think that I just don't like that no one is paying attention to this anymore. And I'm just wondering, was this all, there are some people in Israel who are questioning how were those people able to attack Israel in the first place, using coming in and attacking that fair. Like, how is it that Israel was unable to protect its own citizens, but they squash those questions down too? It's just like, how Israel have a whole air defense, Iron Dome that could shoot down rockets and all of this type of stuff. So you mean to tell me that people were parasailing into Israel and they were not able to shoot them down some people have had quite a few questions about how this was even able to happen. So was this able to happen to explain what they're doing now? Because absolutely nothing explains what they're doing now. And what's his name? Netanyahu has said that he is on the side of 45, 47 with that dumb plan about how it's water real estate and we can get rid of the people there and there's nothing they can do there and it's all rubble. But yeah, it's all rubble, but all of a sudden you guys can turn it into a Middle Eastern Morocco, a grand city. It's nothing but rubble there, Donald. Surely, if it's nothing but rubble there and the Palestinian people can't be there now, but the Muslims have an idea of how they can keep the people there and rebuild Gaza. So who do you think gonna win out? I don't know, but I just have a question. I don't know who's going to win out. Let me share this with you guys.
Peace plan in the Middle East that the Arab leaders, we made mention of the peace plan in the Middle East that the Arab leaders were discussing yesterday. They're seeking international support for their Gaza reconstruction plan. The plan comes with a 91-page glossary that proposes an enormous rebuilding operation with, crucially, the Palestinians remaining in place. It will be costly. The bill is estimated at over $50 billion. There are detailed proposals in there on how to clear all the rubble. The Israelis and the Americans, though, have already dismissed it as unworkable. There's no plan, they say, for disarming Hamas. They've rejected the proposals to restore and revamp the Palestinian Authority. The more immediate issue, of course, is where we go from here in terms of the ceasefire.
So do you think that they dismissed it because it's unworkable, or they dismissed it because they cannot build their own idea of what Gaza should be? And it seems like they listen. They just don't want the Palestinians in Gaza at all. There's no way to disarm what is it? Hamas. There's no way to unarm Hamas. At what armed with what? The only arms that they have, it appears, is to be the rubble that you created. And if they have to use the rubble to defend themselves, you're right. There's no way to disarm them because most of their country is rubble. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? We have not killed enough women and children. No, we're still in the good fight. We're still fighting. We still have the right to defend ourselves. What are you defending yourselves against? You were the one who broke the ceasefire. So if you broke the ceasefire, it seems like you are the one who is fighting. It's bullshit. It's a lot of bullshit. Let's continue.
Israel still withholding all humanitarian aid for Gaza, and it's now resisting, it seems, the terms agreed for phase 2 of the agreement. So let's bring in Yolande Nell, who is in Jerusalem. Good to see you, Yolande. The Israeli Prime Minister said this morning, in conversation with his new army chief, that he is determined to achieve victory. That doesn't sound like there's much appetite to engage with the Arab League.
Well, yeah, so far what we've had from Israel in terms of a response to that unified Arab statement about a Gaza reconstruction plan, really it's saying that this is rooted in outdated perspectives, that it ignores the realities on the ground, and Israel has been standing by President Trump's alternative plan, which envisages the 2 million residents of Gaza being moved away and a sort of beach destination being created there instead. What we had earlier when Mr. Netanyahu was speaking, it was at the handover ceremony for the new Israeli military chief of staff. The former Israeli military chief of staff, Herzi Halevi, tendered his resignation earlier this year, really because of what the Israeli military itself has found to be its complete failure to prevent the events of the 7th of October, those deadly Hamas-led attacks. And we had both Mr. Netanyahu and his new chief of staff for the military talking about the need to have full victory over Hamas.
Obviously, at the root of all this is how to disarm Hamas and what sort of authority and security to put in place, Yolande. There was discussion yesterday of this plan to send international peacekeepers under the UN umbrella. Who would provide those troops, and what sort of access would they be given in Gaza?
I mean, that is something that the UN Security Council is being asked for as part of this plan without sort of more details being provided. It's previously been suggested that there would be Arab troops that could go into Gaza and that you would then have a handover as swiftly as possible to a new Palestinian police force with both Egypt and Jordan involved in training up those police officers. But this security issue is really the big one that remains unanswered. I mean, Hamas was not referred to by name in the communiques that came out of that Cairo summit. Hamas, though, has welcomed the final statements that came out from this meeting of the Arab League. It has shown a willingness to cede power. The idea as part of this plan would be that you would have a temporary takeover of Gaza by a committee of independent experts.
Can't predict what's going to happen over there, but there seems to be a Arab plan and a plan that America and Israel want. The powers that be think that they can keep snatching from brown people without consequences side. When will they learn? Yes, all the Muslim nations are against this, but Israel is striking over in Yemen. Where else was it? I think it was Turkey, Yemen, and I forget what other nation. It seems like they think that they can take over all of that region. Where was Assad from? He's striking. Oh my God, where was Assad from? He's striking over there too. I know Assad ran it, but I can't think of the nation. So Israel. Wait a minute. No, Assad. Syria. Yes. I was like, she got it. Yeah. So thank you, Strictly Platinum. I'm glad to see that you listening. I was like, why can I think of it? Okay. Yes, Syria. So it's a lot going on over there, and we are all in the mix of it, acting as people are objects or pets or something that we can just move off of their own land. And it's just a lot. Okay, so I just wanted to stay abreast on that story because they tapped down the Muslims' solution to rebuild. In the scheme of things, that's not a lot of money. Donald 4547 is willing to throw that more than that type of money on the crap table to destroy our economy to make it appear as if he is some powerful world leader. Make that make sense. So now I want to talk about another way that these tariffs have impacted us in ways that people may not recognize at all. So here we go. Very important ways. I told you I told you about the BRICS when I fully understood what the BRICS were. Their own trading partners: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So after in 45, 47 was talking about China, and he was saying, well, I don't know if they're a part of the BRICS, but if they are, he didn't even know that they were part of the BRICS. Even little old me found that out prior to this. So with all of this upheaval, our allies in Japan and South Korea are looking to join the BRICS because of the unstable way that 45, 47 has been, treating trade and all of this. So let's dive into and 45, 47 came out with a strong stance that the BRICS better not try to devalue the dollar. The BRICS don't have to try to devalue the dollar because you're doing it well enough your own. 45, 47. You are the one who is helping the dollar be devalued by having allies flee to the BRICS. Let's be clear. And we're gonna find out. I think they own. We'll see how much they own in trade. I think it's 44%. Let's see. Let's check this out.
Dollar and reshape the world order. Have you ever imagined the dollar? Can BRICS defeat the U.S. dollar and reshape the world order? Have you ever imagined the dollar being replaced by Venezuela's currency, or even BRICS starting their own bank and saying, America, you can only come if you bring cash? BRICS expansion. This is when they're really getting serious. Let's catch up on the name BRICS. Did you know that now 23 countries are lining up to join the club of maybe doing something other than dollars? Yes, you heard that right. 23 countries. I'm not sure, but it seems like they invited everyone in the neighborhood. Just imagine, 55% of the world's population is now in this club, and their combined GDP has surpassed 37% of the global total. Surely you'll have to ask, who needs the G7 when you can have BRICS? This bloc might soon start holding meetings that don't involve the dollar. Instead,
if you've been waiting for Trump's...
Hold on, let me get past the commercial.
using a currency you've never even thought of. I'm pretty sure if they invited every small and overlooked country, they might just pull out Zimbabwe's currency and call it the money of the future. Nigeria and Indonesia join. Today's news with geopolitical shifts. Let's talk about Nigeria. Not exactly the first country you think of when someone says major economies, but now they've joined BRICS and become a powerhouse. With a GDP of $500 billion and over 200 million people, Nigeria is gearing up to be a major player not just in oil, but in global reform. Remember, this is the first time Africa has a solid foothold in this bloc. And maybe for the first time, energy talks won't revolve around Saudi oil anymore. And then there's Indonesia. 280 million people, GDP exceeding $1.3 trillion. Sounds like Indonesia is doing everything it can to lessen dependence on the West. By joining BRICS, Indonesia is sounding the alarm for all of us that BRICS isn't a joke. They don't just have oil. They have everything from energy to agriculture. Honestly, now they could start trading their oil for dollars, but not the US kind. The kind that might have different letters in them. De-dollarization. Who said you need dollars when you can do this? So BRICS isn't joking when they talk about de-dollarization. In fact, they're doing it. These countries are deciding they no longer need the dollar. They've decided to trade in local currencies. Can you imagine? Countries exchanging goods without needing the US dollar? Venezuela and Zimbabwe, you guys can start jumping in now. This is a strategy fully embraced by countries like Nigeria and Venezuela. Because as you know, when you've been sanctioned by the US, you don't really have many options other than teaming up with new friends in BRICS and hoping they help you find an alternative. So BRICS might just usher the world into a new era. The No Dollar Conference, the new development bank. No more IMF. It's BRICS time now. BRICS also wants to expand the new development bank, NDB. Doesn't sound fun, right? The IMF and World Bank have started sweating at this news. Why? Because BRICS NDB is about to offer non-dollar funding to developing nations. Did you hear that? Non-dollar. This won't just help these countries grow. It'll make their financial systems less dependent on Western institutions. Maybe even the IMF and World Bank will have to rethink their next meetings. Countries joining BRICS, a long list that might surprise you. Besides Nigeria and Indonesia, you'll notice BRICS is becoming the club that everyone wants to join. Some might feel a little let down that BRICS hasn't sent an invite to the US or the European Union, but I guess they won't let you in, because you already have too much money. In 2023, over 20% of global oil transactions were conducted without using the US dollar. In response, Donald Trump threatened a 150% import tax on BRICS nations. So, what's really going on? BRICS, originally Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, was once seen as just a group of emerging economies. But by 2023, the alliance had expanded. With Egypt, the UAE, Ethiopia, and Cuba joining, BRICS now includes over 10 nations. Together, they account for 36.7% of global GDP, surpassing the G7's 30%. BRICS is no longer just an economic group. It's becoming a true geopolitical power bloc, challenging the dominance of the West. At the 2024 BRICS summit in Kazan, Russian President Vladimir Putin revealed a prototype BRICS currency, a paper note backed by gold, powered by blockchain, and designed for cross-border trade. This isn't just fintech innovation. It's a bold political move, an attempt to build a financial system independent of the US dollar. Soon after.
Okay, so if that video interests you, please, it is in my description box. Please go check it out. You may be surprised about all the information that it gives you. I already talked about the first time let me see, what is it? And I always talked about the first time how all of these Russia, China, South Africa, and India, they are all stockpiling gold because they used to have to stockpile cash dollars in the World Bank. Not so much now. A lot of them are spending a whole lot of money stockpiling gold. And if we think back, Gaddafi was talking about the world that his region, he was trying to convince them to get on the gold standard. And then all of a sudden, Gaddafi was taken out. And it is not until now that this gold standard has come back up. So let's you may want to check it out. New Trading may be the BRICS is the name of this video. It is in my description box. Hey, focus on what you love. Glad to see you. BRICS. What in the world, Ronnie? BRICS. Okay. I'm into investing in it. You didn't hear about the BRICS? I did a whole long thing about the BRICS. I just learned about it recently. And the information, shit, I'm invested in Tesla. Well, shit, you probably ain't got no more money left in Tesla. I don't know. Yeah, but put your money where the oil and the water is. The water, exactly. Water is going to be a high commodity item. Okay. I don't hold much physical gold, but I did invest in the gold I don't know what that is. ETFs? ETFS? I don't know what that is. Yes, water for sure. Water for sure. So that's all that I have for you guys. Check out that link about the bricks and study them on your own because they are going to be they have set up their own way of banking using their own currency, and like the World Bank, they are going to they have created a trading system where kind of like an app, like you can automatically take my gold out of the account once I process this shipment and all of this type of stuff. See, that used to hang up uh, nations like Russia, who was under sanctions. They couldn't sell their oil, but they started selling their oil to China. And that's why during this war, they have not gone broke. They thought that Russia would go broke because they were under sanctions and their money was hemmed up in the World Bank. So they start selling their oil to China, and they got wealthier even during the war. So it had the opposite effect. So that's one instance that I always talk about. ETF, exchange traded funds. It's an easy way to invest and securely. Okay. I will definitely check on the bricks. Thank you, Ronnie. Yes, it's just something that we need to know. Like they say, Trump said that he'll put 150% trading tariffs because that's the only thing he knows to do on the bricks. Uh, Listen, the bricks has come up as something that needs to be, and I don't think that I don't hear much informing the U.S. what the BRICS is in our for-profit media. They may say BRICS one or two times, but a lot of people don't even know what that is. The only time that I've really heard the BRICS spoken about is when 45, 47 was said, oh, well, I don't know if the China is in the BRICS or not, but they better not try something. You don't know if the China is in the BRICS when they're holding this whole C in the word BRICS stands for China. So we got a dummy in the White House. And let's pray for our economy. So with that, I thank you all for being here. Let me close the poll. I forgot. I want to close the poll. Let me see what you guys said in the poll. Okay. Let me screenshot it. Did you attend any protests on Sunday? 58%, the number one position, said no. I protested with my vote. 29% came in second. Said if you don't stop. 7% came in third. I protested. Wait a minute. I protested those who voted for 45, 47. I forgot to put my E on those. And 5% said I protested being bothered. It's supposed to have been being not being bothered. Oh my God! I messed up the poll. Of course, I was rushing. 79 votes. So it seems like the 58% of you know I protested with my vote was the winning position. Yes, I closed the poll, Liz. Okay. I was definitely checking into the bricks. Okay, so yeah, that's the end of the poll. Hit the like button if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys for being here. Is there something I missed that you guys want to comment on? Just drop it in. If there is a story that you guys want, okay, there's something new. I don't know what it is, but let's check this out. Okay. let's check this out. Let me close this screen. There's something new that just popped up in my recommendations. Come with me. Come with me. Hail Mary. Okay, let's check this out. See what they talk about. I don't know what it is. Let me see. Okay, so we're talking about why 4547 is allegedly okay with the results that came after the tariffs. So come with me. Let's see. Oh my God, the real reason for Trump's tariffs surges into spotlight. Let's see what they're talking about.
Reviews this week, I sit down with Pod Save America's Tommy Vitor to discuss the market crash, and data scientist Elliot Morris to discuss the implications of the Wisconsin Supreme Court race victory.
Okay.
And entering into new trade agreements without us, including, by the way, with China. Recession are reaching a fever pitch, and it's clear by now that Trump's imposition of tariffs has been a disaster. The market has crashed, wiping away all gains since Trump took office. Companies are laying off employees by the hundreds. Fears of a recession are reaching a fever pitch. And far from spooking other countries into coming to the negotiating table, they're actually going around the United States and entering into new trade agreements without us, including, by the way, with China. New reporting suggests that Japan and South Korea are teaming up with China to respond to our tariffs imposed by Trump, because that's apparently what we want right now. At a time when American superiority is threatened by China, Trump is driving other countries into the arms of China. But it's also true that Trump's uniquely and acutely aware of how damaging high costs can be. He himself admitted after the election that the reason that he won was because costs were too high. In fact, we've spoken about this for months. This global phenomenon of high inflation and therefore high costs is responsible for nearly every incumbent government across the globe losing majorities or outright losing power themselves. And so, given how disastrous these tariffs are on the economy, and given how potent the issue of high costs are, it would lend itself to reason that Trump would want to avoid this like the plague. Even for somebody who needs to protect his ego and can't bring himself to admit fault because he views any capitulation as a sign of weakness, even he can see how disastrous this is and should want to cut his losses as quickly as possible. So the question becomes, why barrel ahead? The answer is that Trump doesn't care, because what he stands to gain is greater than what he stands to lose. He wants blanket tariffs on every country in hopes that, in an effort to remove them, the countries each offer to give him something. And that something usually stands to benefit him personally. Like, think about where he's employed this strategy already. The law firms, for example. He imposes blanket punishment on them through his use of an executive order, and then one by one they capitulate to get themselves off his bad side. And that capitulation includes giving him between $40 million and $100 million in pro bono legal services. And by the way, you better believe that they're also not going to go after him anymore in the courts. That means that he has neutralized them. He owns them. And in turn, one of the most damaging sectors for him, the courts, suddenly becomes a little bit more friendly. Or how about the news networks capitulating? You've got ABC News, possibly CBS doing the same thing with 60 Minutes, both involved in settling these frivolous lawsuits. You think those networks are going to be as hostile after paying him millions and millions of dollars? Probably not. How about the tech billionaires? You've got Mark Zuckerberg immediately revamping Meta's content moderation policies and moving its fact-checking from California to the much more neutral state of Texas. Jeff Bezos also neutered his own Washington Post. He spent $40 million on a Melania Trump documentary that I'm sure tens of people enjoyed watching. And we can go on, but it's the same strategy over and over. Trump preemptively targets the entities or people who threaten him, knowing that the only way they can crawl out of that hole that he's placed them in is if they capitulate and give him something that benefits him.
Well, wait a minute. We know all this. I thought you were giving us something that we didn't know. Let's go forward a little bit.
It is untouchable, that it can act with impunity. The fact that Americans are standing up and turning out and fighting back threatens all of that, threatens their entire power structure. I know that it doesn't feel like we have much to celebrate right now, but the energy, the momentum, and the enthusiasm is only on one side right now, and it's not Donald Trump's. Next up are previews of my interviews with Tommy Vitor and Elliot Morris. Just one quick note, as always, just one video per week on this channel has sponsors, and that is my video podcast, No Lie, same as my audio podcast. So here's a quick word from some sponsors, and then the interviews with Tommy Vitor.
Okay, so I dropped the link. Tom, I think I've seen this. This is one of Obama's guys, this Tommy Vito guy. I dropped the link to this video. No new news as far as I'm concerned, but I definitely agree with that Port Charles Library. So thank you, Liz Livos. Thank you all for being here. That's all that I have for today. I greatly appreciate you guys coming out and spending some time with me. And they did their thing on Saturday. On Sunday, and I did my thing as well. So let's see what happens and see where this is going to take us, because we're already off the ledge. I don't know how far or how hard we're going to fall, but I don't think that this is going to be pretty. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate your support. God bless you. Have a great Monday. And that's all I have for today. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. They are rare and they are few. Who can compare with Ronnie Q? So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few. Who can compare with Ronnie Q? So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie. In the morning while I'm driving,